High snap, play action, Nichols underneath, caught, gets away from one tackler, gets away from two tacklers, down the sidelines, one man to beat, stutter step, getting away to the end zone, number 8, Dylan Talley, touchdown, Bowie.
Robertson in motion, Craven's back to pass, goes across the middle, Ghostin holds it in, he's gonna go to the touchdown, to the house, Cravens to Ghostin, Colt, touchdown!
As a tight end, pulls a guard, Barrett finds the hole, follows the pulling guard, cuts outside, bounces outside to the 20, 10, 15, 5, touchdown Bowers, touchdown Bowie!
And folks, we have history at Haltom. Danny Bustamante has just pitched a no-hit, no-run, no-walk shutout. A perfect game for Danny Bustamante.
Rios looks at Alvarado and turns home. It's going to that left field gap. That's a base hit. Here comes Axel Alvarado. The Colts are going to take the lead in the top of the 7th on the base hit by Gannon Howard. Burkle out of position. They've got to pass, and they've got to go! Patomeco with the pass. Miralrio has a bit of a look, shot on goal, and he gets it in! Two tight end set here as we go to the left-hand side with B.J. Rogers. Rogers is into the second level. B.J. Rogers to midfield. One man trying to catch up to him, but he will not. Number 6 in for 6. That will do it.
This broadcast is under intellectual property and may not be repurposed or reproduced without express written consent. Enjoy this presentation from Zach Arnold Productions. Energetic Media Solutions.
Good evening, baseball fans. It's game day in Arlington, Texas, as Zach Arnold Productions has the action you're looking for. Broadcasting live, it's Texas High School Baseball presented by John Wade Roofing. The pregame show is coming up right after this.
John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com.
Are you a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage? Or perhaps you're navigating the complexities of Medicare? Look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent insurance agency with over 50 years of experience with tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need home and auto, business insurance, or individual or group medical, Chapman Cornelius has knowledgeable agents who will help you select just what you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott at 817-265-3346. Welcome, baseball fans. This is Pops Arnold in the booth here at Sam Houston High School with my sidekick to my left here, Jason Jott Holly, and we're here to present to you Bowie High School baseball from the Sam Houston Texans field in Southeast Arlington this afternoon as your Bowie Volunteers visit the Sam Houston Texans in District 8-6A action here tonight. Welcome on board, Jott. We're glad to be here tonight.
Good night. Good. The sun's going down. It was supposed to be 92, but it feels more like 75. Hasn't been too hot like they were telling us all weekend it was going to be, so it's a good night for baseball.
We've got a great position here for tonight's ball game here at Sam Houston. Coach Perez and I worked together here at Sam Houston. He said, hey, why don't y'all take the booth? And I'm like, that's awesome. So we're high in the sky tonight with our camera and all of our equipment. We've got a bird's eye view for you here tonight from the Texans baseball field. So to run down the season so far, Bowie is coming into the game tonight with an overall record of 5-11. They have gone 2-2 in district. Now, I noticed this afternoon, John, that the Texas High School baseball site that we kind of rely on for statistics was wrong because they credited Sam Houston with the win last Friday night on their statistics sheet instead of Bowie. They put the numbers up too early and didn't wait for that walk-off win at the end of the ball game. But Bowie is coming in 2-2 in District 8-6A. They have won a game against Sam and Grand Prairie, and they've lost a game against Grand Prairie and Sam. So coming into the game even at 2-2, looking to advance and go ahead here tonight. Sam Houston coming into the game with an overall 3-12 record, and they have started the district season 0-3 so far. Alex Johnson, the third-year head coach for Bowie, leading his team on the field. They're meeting at the home plate right now with the two umpires for tonight's ball game. And, John, if you missed it the other night, Cameron Wilcox and I were on the call at Bowie, and what a heartbreaker that was for Sam Houston, but a thrilling win for Bowie at the very end. Sam Houston put up one run in the first inning, and that held all the way to the bottom of the seventh with 2 outs. Runners on every base, and Christian Uribe came up to bat.
That's what you need if you're Bowie. You want to – I mean, obviously you got your season opening win last week against Grand Prairie. Then you dropped last Friday. You get a win against Sam Houston. It's a team you need to beat, but to beat them in that fashion, hopefully that carries you into tonight and then carries you into next week when you start getting different opponents, because you've already played 2 of the opponents that you would kind of want to beat to start the season. Everything after this gets harder, so that's a good way to kind of get you into the next week.
You know, that's what Coach Johnson and I visited just for a second after that ball game, and he was frustrated that the Bowie bats were silent the entire ball game. They just couldn't get a hit. They left 7 runners on base and most of those were in scoring position, and they just could not get a clutch hit during the course of the game, and Johnson was frustrated with that. And I said, well, Coach, look at it this way. Uribe comes through at the end of the game. Your dugout was electric. Everybody was chanting and cheering, cheering Uribe on to get that clutch hit, and he came through. And you get the win in a walk-off fashion, and it just really charges your team up. And I said, maybe that's the spark that you need.
Yeah, that's the spark. Maybe it is the spark they need, because a lot of the bats, at least when I saw them during tournament play and then last week versus Grand Prairie, they've been silent. The guys you want to get hits from, like Jackson Turner and Jose Martinez and Raul Sanchez, they've been just kind of just here. They're good defenders, but the bats need to get going. Uribe, he's been on a tear. I was telling you earlier that as of last Tuesday when we saw them versus Grand Prairie, he had been 8 for 9 in games that I've called of Uribe this season. So he's got the bat going. Everybody else around him needs to get going as well.
Yeah, a little bit more about the Bowie Volunteer baseball team. Assistant coach Nolan Crowdis will be the third base coach tonight, as he usually is. Bowie has a lot of returning starters to this year's team. You mentioned Jackson Turner, the senior outfielder and pitcher. He had a .340 average last year with 27 runs batted in, and he was first team all-district outfielder last year for the Volunteers. You got Christian Uribe, the hero from the other night. Brody Ferguson, the senior first base pitcher outfield. He's listed as a returning starter, but I haven't seen him on the roster at all this year.
I haven't seen a lot of him. I know he was on the team with the football team this past fall that won district championship.
Yeah.
And I know he was supposed to be coming back. There were a lot of injuries and players that were sick to start the tournament play, so he might be on the list of guys that we haven't seen yet. But he's one of the guys you're going to expect, big lefty when it comes to pitching. He's a good first baseman, and you've had good players fill in, like Zion Sturgill. He's had a chance to fill in at first base with no Brody Ferguson and Ramon Ortega on the mound. You've had Isaiah Piper out in the outfield. He's done a good job being one of the new players on his team. And then my boy Thor. My boy Thor, he's hurt. Yeah. But I was expecting to see him. I'm ready to see him come back out there, this big sophomore they brought up as a reliever. So when Thor gets back, I'm ready to see the hammer get put down.
There you go. Andrew Vega is another one of those returning starters who pitched the other night. And, John, he really pitched a very solid game all night. He was a little rocky in the first couple of innings, but then he started setting the Texans down 1-2-3, 1-2-3 for every inning through the end of the ball game. And Vega seemed to get stronger as he went throughout the course of the night. I was very impressed with his performance the other night. A little bit about the Sam Houston Texans. Coach Elijah Perez is in his third year as head coach, assisted by Austin Tegler and Corey May. They're bringing back some starters from last year. Mark Ramos, Angel Salgado, Angel Quintero. They're both in the game tonight, so we got 2 Angels batting back-to-back in the lineup tonight. Marcus Lopez, Sebastian De La Rosa is starting, and Matthew Umansor. And so Sam Houston's got more starters this year, too, that are returning. And one thing that Coach Perez told me, he says, we've got more players this year. Last year they only fielded 12 men that were on the bench last year. This year they're starting with 19. So the program is growing here at Sam Houston, and he's proud of that fact. And so looking as tight as that game was last Tuesday, looking for another good game here tonight from Sam Houston. So let's look at some of the starting lineups here for the Sam Houston Texans in the field because they'll be taking the field first. Zion Sturgill will be starting at first base. We've talked about Zion on the side. We really like his hustle that we've seen from him this year. Josue Martinez will be starting at second. Over at third base, the hot corner, the hero of the other night, Christian Uribe. Shortstop starting Andrew Vega, the good pitcher for Bowie from the other night. Left field, Micah Couch. Center field, Jackson Turner, Isaiah Piper over in right field. And the battery for tonight's ball game for Bowie, Raul Sanchez behind the plate, and Roman Ortega taking the mound for the Volunteers tonight. Players are coming out on the fields and they're lining up, being introduced, and expecting a national anthem, which the PA announcer is fixing to sing for us. No, we're just kidding. The PA is broken. We don't have any kind of song. We don't have a scoreboard out here tonight. So the boys are waiting as if the national anthem's going to play, and we just don't have anything that's going to be able to project for anybody.
They didn't give me the national anthem.
But you know, we do have, Pops, we do have a pregame sponsor we need to give a shout out to before we get ready to start this first pitch, and that is Chapman Cornelius. They sponsor all pregame shows here. Exact Honor Productions. They are a family-owned business with a team of professionals who have served the Arlington area for over 50 years, so don't let insurance be a headache. Chapman Cornelius can help you create a custom insurance plan tailored to your small business needs and budget. Call April Chapman or Jason Knott today at 817-265-3346 or go to www.chapman-cornelius.com. We want to thank our sponsors at Chapman Cornelius as we get ready to start this game here between the Bowie Volunteers and the Sam Houston Texans, the Battle of New York, the Battle of the East Side, South Side part of Arlington. And be an exciting game here. Get the call here, Pops.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So let's look at the Bowie lineup tonight. Leading off, Jackson Turner, who'll be playing center field for the Volunteers. Batting second, Micah Couch, the left fielder. Batting third, Christian Uribe, the third baseman for tonight's game. Batting fourth, Roman Ortega, the pitcher, batting for himself. Batting fifth, Idem Fiorentino, the designated hitter. Batting sixth, Josue Martinez, the second baseman. Batting seventh, Raul Sanchez, the catcher. Batting eighth, Andrew Vega, the shortstop. And rounding out the nine, Isaiah Piper, the right fielder. So as we get ready to get this game started, George Cortez is on the mound. Let me set the infield for Sam Houston. Noah Borrego starting at first. Brandon Jimenez at second. Marco Lopez over at short. Mark Ramos at shortstop. Marco Lopez is at third. Sorry about that. Mark Ramos at short. Angel Quintero in left field. And he's going to have a battle with the sun tonight, isn't he, John? Sebastian De La Rosa in center. Matthew Umansor in right field. The battery, Angel Salgado. And the pitcher, George Cortez. So Jackson Turner, Couch, and Uribe, 1, 2, 3 to get the game started off. Getting ready for the first pitch, and we'll talk about the first pitch sponsor here after we get this first pitch. Pitch comes in, home plate umpire calls it a ball. As we open up this game, open up your home to new possibilities with Modern West Windows and Doors. Our first pitch presenters this season, Modern West. 0-1 the count. Swung on and hit down the right field side foul. Count goes to 0-2. We'll be keeping up with the 1-1. Sorry, that was a foul ball. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch here. Swung on and missed for strike 2.
Yeah, we'll have to be keeping up manually. No scoreboard here at Sam Houston. We're watching the umpire's fingers. 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Cortez in his wind, in his pitch, a little bit high and outside. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I like Cortez's release there. He's got kind of a submarine type of release that you don't see a lot of pitchers now have. That's kind of an old, outdated thing from a lot of pitchers in major leagues would have. But he has a very submarine release there. So that ball's going to hit foul.
Flared down the right field line. The count will stay 1 ball and 2 strikes as Pops gets out the old style umpire clicker to try and keep. Look at it. It's already set for 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs here in the top of the first inning. This is the first batter of the ball game. Get a few extra balls coming out from the Sam Houston dugout for the umpire.
I had a good question last week. What is the ball budget for a district game? Because a lot of balls got hit into the creek at Grand Prairie last week.
2-2 pitch, swung on and missed as Cortez gets his first strikeout of the night.
Yeah, that's not a good way if you're Jackson Turner to start the game. He's your speedy leadoff hitter in the lineup for a reason. You need to get a hit out of him. You can't strike out to start the game because that's not a good tone setter for the Volunteers.
That'll bring up Micah Couch, the left fielder. Cortez delivery in there for a called strike 1.
Yeah, the release there, I'm really digging it. It's not an overhand release. He kind of sidearms it, and I'm enjoying it. It's a very classic style of pitching.
Next pitch, framed well by Angel Salgado, but the umpire wasn't biting, and it's ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Call that snake eyes, new term that was coined at Arlington last week.
1-1 pitch. Swung on and flared down the right field line. Foul right in between Coach Alex Johnson and the first baseman Noah Borrego. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Left side of the infield starting to get some shadows. Swung on a pitch right, throw, a line drive right at the third baseman. Marco Lopez snags it before it could hit the ground or get by him. So a line to third base there is the second out.
Good piece of contact there by Couch. He just lined it right to the third baseman who's in position, made a good play, looked it all the way into the glove, and got out number 2. Now the Volunteers need to get something going with 2 outs with Uribe coming up to bat.
Uribe getting that clutch hit at the bottom of the 7th inning with 2 outs on Tuesday night's game. First pitch to him right down the middle for called strike 1. Uribe easy to find on the ball field with those bright hunter orange shoes he's sporting this season. Bowie in all black tonight with the Vols printed across their chest in script blue and outlined by orange piping. Pitch is outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sam in their home Texans script across the chest on a blue shirt with white pants tonight. 1-1 pitch coming from Cortez. Swung on and hit out to second base. Diving catch, stop, throw on to first base. Jimenez makes the stop to end the inning. Jimenez to Borrego, and that'll end the inning for the Bowie Volunteers on a 4-3 putout. Bowie goes up and down 1, 2, 3, and that'll take us to the middle of the first inning. This is high school baseball on ZAP, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
Whenever a plumbing problem hits your home, experience matters. Pipe & Peak is a family-owned residential plumbing company with 16 years of experience that you can trust. They handle everything from yard leaks and slab leaks to tunnel work, and they're specialists in replacing old cast iron pipe. No job is too big or too small, and their pricing stays competitive. If you're seeing signs of aging pipes, now's the time to act. Send an email to Caleb Renfro to see how Pipe & Peak can help your home. When your high school field needs to look game ready, trust John Kling and the pros at Field Ops North Texas. This veteran-owned team delivers fast turnaround and long-lasting field striping for football, soccer, lacrosse, and more, using professional-grade paint and equipment. Field Ops proudly serves schools and communities across North Texas, helping student-athletes compete on fields that look as good as they play. Get a free quote today by visiting gofieldops.com/north-texas.
Welcome back to the bottom of the first inning. Bowie went up and down 1, 2, 3. That'll take us to the Sam Houston half of this inning. Let's go through their batting lineup for the night. Leading off, Sebastian De La Rosa playing center field. Batting second, Marcos Lopez, the third baseman. Batting third, Mark Ramos, the shortstop. Batting cleanup, Noah Borrego, the first baseman. Batting fifth, Angel Salgado, the catcher for tonight's ballgame. Batting sixth, Angel Quintero, the left fielder. Batting seventh, Matthew Umansor, the right fielder. Batting eighth, Tristan Chavez, the designated hitter. And batting ninth, Brandon Jimenez, the second baseman. Let me set the defense for Bowie this evening. Mentioned it earlier, but going to review it for you. Sturgill at first, Josue Martinez at second, Uribe at third, Vega at shortstop, Couch, Turner, and Piper, the outfield left to right. The battery, Raul Sanchez behind the plate, and your pitcher for Bowie tonight, Ortega. Roman Ortega, tall young man out there on the mound. Quite the presence. As Sam Houston is bringing up their 1-2-3 batter. De La Rosa leading off, Lopez on deck, and Ramos in the hole.
My first chance to see Ortega this season. He's one of the better pitchers they had last season. He was the number 2 pitcher behind Isaiah Henderson, who went on to go do big and better things. So Ortega, my first chance to see him on the mound. He was injured coming into the season and was sick as well. So I'm really excited to see what he's got, see if he's able to get some of those breaking pitches to work. I know he's a good pitch-to-contact hitter. So let's see what he can do.
Strides up to the plate with a metal bat that's painted blue and pink on the end and the big part of the barrel.
Looks like a prime bottle.
Yeah. Stepping into the left-handed batter's box does De La Rosa. Ortega is set, and his first pitch in there on that low outside corner for strike one. Coach Perez down at third base, peering into the sun. Coach Tegler over at first for the Sam Houston Texans. The 0-1 pitch, a little bit outside. Sanchez tried to frame it by bringing it into the zone, but the umpire left it a ball. 1 strike.
We have a good view here of the umpire's strike zone from this angle at least.
1-1 chopped out to second. Martinez gets it up, throws it over to Sturgill, and there's one out away. 4-3 put out. We'll bring up the third baseman for the Texans, Marcos Lopez. Apologize for the clicking you might hear in the background, but that's our version of the scoreboard tonight. The old umpire clicker in my hands, as the scoreboard here at Sam Houston is not functioning. First pitch to Lopez, in there for a called strike one. Lopez playing the hot corner for the Texans tonight. Ortega winds and pitches. It's fouled behind him into the fencing behind the plate. Count quickly runs to 0-2 as Roman Ortega gets on top here.
I like the foot race between the two players from Bowie and Sam Houston to retrieve that foul ball.
Little gamesmanship, having a little fun out there. Ortega takes an extra walk around the mound. I'm looking at the shadows here. Short and third are pretty much in the shadows now as the sun goes down. Left field still has some sun to contend with. The 0-2 pitch. A called third strike by the home plate umpire, and Lopez goes down looking.
Yeah, Lopez didn't know what to expect there on the 0-2. Didn't even get the bat off his shoulders. Good pitch by Ortega to get his first strikeout of the game.
That'll bring up the shortstop Mark Ramos with 2 outs in the inning. Mark Ramos pitched a good ball game the other night, going back to his usual defensive position at short. First pitch to him is a little bit low and outside for ball one.
It was my first season to see Mark Ramos not pitching. Last year, he got a shutout versus Bowie. The year before, I believe he got a shutout as well versus the Volunteers. So he's been a big thorn in the side of Bowie.
That ball shot off to the right side towards the Sam Houston dugout for a strike one. Coach Tegler looks at it. Player comes out of the dugout, and the umpire fields the ball over there. 1 ball, 1 strike count to Ramos. Outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike now to the shortstop. Gentle breeze blowing in from right field. Straight up the middle goes Ramos, right past the pitcher Ortega's feet and into center field. And Ramos gets a good solid base hit.
Yeah, good base hit. He got good contact, hit it right back up the middle. Ortega's not going to be able to get down and grab that ball as it bounces off the pitcher's mound. And just go ahead and get the gap between short and second. Roll out to the outfield and get on base with 2 outs.
Gets a lead off, and Sturgill's holding him over there at first base, and that brings up Noah Borrego, the first baseman for the Texans. Ortega comes home, and the runner's going. Sanchez is just going to eat it at the plate as Ramos got a good lead off. Stands up at second base on that stolen base. So a runner in scoring position for Borrego. The call at the plate was a called strike. 0-1 on Noah Borrego. Ortega takes a look at Ramos and comes home. Called strike 2. Catches that outside corner. Ortega pitching ahead in the count tonight so far.
Let's see if Ortega goes back to the outside corner. Borrego didn't have any clue what was going on in that 0-1.
0-2 is a called third strike. Caught Borrego looking. 2 looking strikeouts in the inning for Ortega, and that'll set the Texans down for this half inning. We'll step aside and go visit our sponsors who keep us alive. We encourage you to visit small businesses that sponsor Zach Arnold Productions. This is Bowie High School Baseball on Zach Arnold Productions, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades, and they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com.
Navigating Medicare options isn't easy. Hi, I'm Patsy Arnold, and when the time came to navigate my options, I went to Chapman Cornelius. They helped me find the best plan for my needs, quoted me life insurance options, and guided me in making my decisions every step of the way. They want to do the same for you, so give them a call at 817-265-3346 or visit chapman-cornelius.com.
Welcome back, fans, to the top of the second inning. We'd like to remind you that the second inning is presented by Pipe and Peak Plumbing. Call Caleb Renfro if you need a cast iron replacement specialist at 817-807-7069. Serving Arlington for over 16 years. Pipe and Peak, our second inning sponsor. Leading off for the Bowie Volunteers, Ortega on deck. Fiorentino, this hit is straight up the middle for a base hit. First pitch hitting is Ortega and helping himself out as he pitched a good inning in the last half inning, and leads off this top of the second with a solid base hit.
I'm typically not a fan of first pitch swinging there, but that's a good piece of contact by Ortega. Hit it right back over the head of the second baseman out into the outfield, and that's how you get that's how you help your own cause there, by getting on base.
Absolutely. That brings up Item Fiorentino, the designated hitter. At this point now, Josue Martinez will be on deck, and Raul Sanchez, the catcher, in the hole for the Volunteers, with one runner on here in the top of the second. Arlington High hosting South Grand Prairie tonight over on the other side of town. Their game is underway. Throw over to first base, and just a courtesy tag applied over there by Borrego. They're 0-0 in the bottom of the first inning there. Big district matchup between South and Arlington. Arlington winning the first game. South looking to bounce back tonight. Pitch home, catches that outside corner. 1 strike count.
Both pitchers taking advantage early of the outside part of the plate, getting the calls there on the strikes. If the batters aren't going to swing on the outside part, just go ahead and take the call.
0-1 pitch, squares the bunt, pulls it back. Ball called by the umpire. Runner goes. Ortega's going to make it in safely, diving at second. We're playing on an all-grass dirt field tonight here at Sam Houston, as we do at Bowie, and the players are able to get their uniform dirty tonight. I love it. Really proves that they're in the ball game. Down the left field line, 312 here at Sam on the right field line and the left field line, and it's 375 to dead center where the American flag is flying. Next pitch home is outside for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to Item Fiorentino. Well, the runner at second now for Bowie with nobody out.
I believe that's a pinch runner, too. I think they took Ortega out for running. I can't see who that is from here, though.
We'll get the spyglass on it here. Pitch home, a little bit low and inside for ball 3. Hitters count here. for Fiorentino. Three-one pitch coming home. Swung on and flared into right field. A little Texas leaguer out there in front of Umansor. And there'll be runners at the corners now for the Volunteers.
Now batting number 8, Josue Martinez.
Josue Martinez coming up to the plate. Trying to zero in on our runner at third base.
I believe that's Darian Brown. It might be Darian Brown.
23 maybe?
23. So Darian Brown's out there pinch running.
There we go. Eagle eye pops. That brings up with Item over at first and Brown over at third. That brings up Josue Martinez. First pitch to him is outside for ball one, and unopposed, Item Fiorentino takes second base. So runners at second and third now. 2 runners on for Martinez. We need a clutch hit here. 1 ball, no strikes on Martinez. Nobody out here. Thought about that one, but held back does Martinez, and the ball floats outside. Count runs to 2 balls and no strikes.
And the defense is playing in now, trying to guard anything in the infield. Darian Brown's got good speed at third base, so anything outside over the head of the right fielder can get at least 1 run in, possibly 2.
Cortez set, comes home, swung on and missed, strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike to the batter, Josue Martinez, playing second base for Bowie this evening.
This is part of the lineup that I know for Bowie, every game we want to see get production out of 7, 8, 9. Those are the guys you need to get hits out of if you want to get big wins going into deeper part of district play.
Pitch swung on and missed. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sam's pitcher, Jorge Cortez, really battling here in a sticky situation with Bowie having 2 runners in scoring position. 2-2's the count. The delivery home. Low and outside, count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
For Martinez, you're at the plate. Anything outside, you can't chase it. If you think it's going to be a ball, you have to let it go and live the fight another day to get a free pass to first base. If anything comes over the plate, you might as well take your hack at it and try to get something. Anything's better than nothing.
And in my opinion, going down swinging is better than going down looking.
Yes.
The payoff pitch. Outside, gets all the way to the backstop. This is going to be a run for sure. Or to take Darian Brown comes in to score. They're going to just throw the ball back to the plate as the batter runner, Josue Martinez, goes all the way to second base out of indifference. That'll put Item Fiorentino over at third and 1 run on the board. Bowie goes up 1-0 here with nobody out.
Speaking of 1-0, Arlington just went up 1-0 as well at versus South Grand Prairie.
They've still got a runner at third over there with only 1 out. No, nobody out. Nope, 2 outs in the inning. 2 outs in the inning. I got to read the score bug right. Bowie still with 2 runners on base, nobody out. This is Raul Sanchez, the catcher. First pitch to him is a called strike 1. Cortez peering in for the sign from his battery mate Salgado, and the pitch. Swung on and popped up in the infield. Salgado has a chance at it, but it's just about 3 feet in front of him and lands harmlessly on the ground for an out. I mean a strike, long strike. Count runs to 0-2.
That was a good play. The play there by Salgado, I thought he had it. It might have been a good thing for him, too, because Fiorentino has good enough speed on third base. He might try to take off for home if the pitcher's not paying attention, covering home. So it could be a
blessing.
Yeah, it could be a best case scenario.
No balls, 2 strikes on the batter. Raul Sanchez. Outside, he thought about it. He half swung on it and held up. Count runs to 1 ball and 2 strikes on the catcher for Bowie, Raul Sanchez. Fiorentino at third, Martinez at second for Bowie. Nobody out. Here in the top of the second. The pitch. Swung on and tapped out to third. He looks at the runner, goes to first. Good play there. Lopez to Borrego, the 5-3 put out, and good basic defense there, making sure the runner was staying at third and then getting the out.
Yeah, that's a good play there. He checked off the runner, made sure he stayed at third, like you said. There's no threat of Fiorentino trying to take off for home, get the first out of the inning. That's a good relief there for Jorge on the mound.
Good fundamental play on the ball there by Marcos Lopez. And that'll bring up Andrew Vega, the pitcher from Tuesday night's ball game that just seemed to get stronger as he went along, Jot. One out in the inning now with still 2 runners on. Pop behind the backstop for strike 1.
Yeah, and Vega's going to be one of the guys, as a pitcher, they're going to have to rely on. They're still looking for a number 1. I would say Ortega's number 1 now since Isaiah Henderson has graduated. And then you need a good, solid number 2. If it's going to be Vega, if it's going to be Jackson Turner, if it's going to be Brody Ferguson when he comes back. So you're still trying to figure out who it is. But as long as Vega's pitching well, he's going to be a solid number 2 going forward.
The ball hit out to shortstop, down on one knee. Ramos, he looks the runner back, throws to first, and gets the out. 2 good defensive plays back-to-back to check that runner and make sure that Coach Crowdis is not sending that runner on the hit. Now with 2 outs in the inning, that's going to bring up the bottom number 9 hitter in the order, Isaiah Piper. Piper playing right field tonight for the Volunteers.
This is what we were saying earlier. You need the 6, 7, 8, 9 guys to get hits for you if you're Bowie. You have 2 runners on. You had 2 runners on with no outs. Now you're looking at stranding those 2 guys there.
First pitch is fouled. Across to the right side. Strike 1. But he does have 1 run across here in the top of the 2nd inning, but could get a couple more here with a clutch hit from Piper. The 0-1 pitch from Cortez. It's called strike 1. That looked like it floated a little bit outside, but Cortez will take it. Count runs to 0-2.
Yeah, it looked like the breeze kind of pushed that ball a little bit outside the plate, at least from the Borrego, the catcher, is set up at.
0-2 delivery coming to Isaiah Piper. Swung on and missed. Cortez gets out without any more damage on the swinging strikeout by Piper, but not before Bowie takes the lead here in the top of the 2nd inning. It's Bowie 1, Sam Houston 0. Sam coming to bat here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. This is high school baseball on ZAP, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be back right after this.
Modern West Windows and Doors is a partner of the ZAP network. They're also partnered with trusted industry leaders like Lowen, Weather Shield, and Simpus to guarantee quality product and installation. Whether you're searching for new concepts for your entryway, living room, dining room, bedroom, or even a workshop, Modern West has the solutions you're looking for. Visit the showroom at 1211 6th Avenue in Fort Worth or visit modernwestwindows.com.
Taqueria Taco Express is the official taqueria of Zach Arnold Productions, with locations in Arlington, Grand Prairie, Waxahachie, and a new location opening in Mansfield. Solving your Mexican food craving has never been easier. Visit them on Taco Tuesdays for their special 5 tacos and a large agua fresca for just $10. Find out more by visiting taqueriatacoexpress.com. Welcome back to the bottom of the 2nd inning here from the baseball field at the home of the Sam Houston Texans on the east side of Arlington. At this point in the ball game, with Sam coming up for their 2nd at bat, Bowie is up 1-0 after a good leadoff base hit by Ortega, and Brown running for him ended up scoring. But Bowie left 2 on base, 2 in scoring position at the bottom of that inning, and that's something that we've got to see Bowie correct as the season goes along. Got to bring those runners in from scoring position. Sam Houston sending up their 5, 6, 7 hole hitters. Angel Salgado leading off, and then the two Angels back-to-back. Swung on and missed by Salgado. Angel, and then Angel Quintero is up on deck, and Matthew Umansor, the right fielder, in the hole. So Salgado, Quintero, and Umansor. The 0-1 pitch sails outside. Count evens 1 ball, 1 strike. Sam Houston sent 4 batters to the plate, but Ortega was able to get 2 strikeouts in that last half inning. Swung on and tapped back to Ortega. The tall pitcher snags at him before it gets by him and tosses it easily to first base for the 1-3 putout.
And that goes to that question you had asked me during the break, how tall Ortega was. He got long arms, got good reach there to snag that ball off the bounce and Got the first easy out of the inning.
That'll bring up Angel Quintero, the left fielder for the Texans. First time at bat tonight. Ortega's first pitch, a little bit outside for ball 1. Most of Sam's players playing short in the outfield. They're way up in the outfield. 1-0 pitch is swung on and fouled over the Texans dugout down the first base line. 1 ball and 1 strike. We saw that at Bowie the other night. The outfielders playing very shallow all night. 1-1 pitch. Sails outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to Angel Quintero.
Yeah, you have a lot of track stars out there in the outfield between Jackson Turner and Isaiah Piper.
Yep.
So they're not expecting anything to get hit over their heads that they can't get to in time.
That ball is swung on and hit out towards second. Josue Martinez gets to it, fields it, throws it on over to Sturgill for the second out. That's what you were just mentioning, because I was just going to notice that Josue is playing very deep at second base. He's playing at the back cut of the grass and very deep at second base, but he was able to range over towards second, snag that one to get the out rather easily.
It was interesting because Ortega last season was a pitch-to-contact type pitcher for Bowie, because Isaiah Henderson was more of the strikeout guy. So maybe they're trying to just get in that same type of cycle he was in last season.
Umansor now up to bat, the right fielder, and he taps the first ball foul over the right side of the backstop here. 0-1 with 2 outs in the inning and nobody on for Ortega. Swung on and hit to center field. Will it drop? Yes, it's going to drop right in front of Jackson Turner, and that'll be a solid base hit for Umansor.
Yeah, second hit of the game for the Texans. Kind of a similar spot, too, right between second and short. So maybe just they're playing too far away. Jackson Turner's playing up. He's just not playing up enough there. Shortstop's not able to get to it. So the second base hit, that's similar, that same gap as the first one.
Umansor getting a lead off, and they check on him over there. First base umpire says he's back safely. Tag applied there by Sturgill, holding him close. Ortega mindful of him. Pitch home. Called strike 1. Tristan Chavez, the designated hitter, at bat for the Texans. Umansor gets a good lead off. The throw home. Low and in the dirt for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to the number 8 hole hitter, Tristan Chavez. Ortega looks, takes a couple of looks over at first base. Comes set. 1-1 pitch. Outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to Chavez. His first at bat this evening. High and outside this time. 3 balls and 1 strike. Hitter's count coming to Tristan Chavez.
That's something we don't see a lot of out of Ortega, where he falls behind in the count. He's looking at a 3-1 count here to Chavez. You don't see a lot of that for Ortega on the mound.
Low and outside for the free pass delivered to Tristan Chavez here. Sam Houston making a little bit of noise with a base hit and a walk. That'll bring up the number 9 hole hitter for the Texans, Brandon Jimenez, the second baseman. 2 outs and 2 runners on here in the bottom of the second inning. Be Jimenez's first appearance at the plate tonight, playing second base for the Texans. Umpire from the field is asking some of the Texans to make sure they're all the way in the dugout over there. Want them to be safe over there. And we'll resume play with Umansor at second, Chavez at first. 2 outs here in the inning. First pitch. Swung on and flared to the right side. It's going to be in the field of play. Sturgill going back. He drops the ball. Here comes around third. Umansor, the pitch to the plate, and he's going to be safe at home. Sturgill got a hand on the ball, and when he hit the ground, it popped out of his glove.
Yeah, it popped out of his glove. It looked like he had a good track on it, but he was trying to catch it over his head like a corner pass in the end zone. Isaiah Piper probably should have been the one to run up and get it out from right field. Sturgill wasn't able to grab it. When he got up, they still made a good throw home to try to get the play at the plate. It was too far off. Sanchez was too far off the plate there to try to stop the runner from scoring. But now Sam Houston's on the scoreboard.
Yep, 1-1's your score there in the bottom of the second. Takes us back to the top of the order. Sebastian De La Rosa at the plate with a runner at second and first now with 2 outs. First pitch from Ortega is far outside for ball 1. How do you want to score that one? I think that was a very difficult play at first base, and I want to give the batter Jimenez a base hit on that.
That's an RBI single there. Sturgill had to make an acrobatic play to try to catch it, and he wasn't going to be able to bring it in. It was a tough play either way, so that's an RBI single.
That's what I think. Tapped out down the third base line. Will it stay fair or foul? It'll be foul. Christian Uribe waits till it crosses into foul territory to touch it. That would have been a difficult play for Uribe to get the speedy runner at first, so it's a wise decision there to let that one roll foul.
And if I remember correctly from last season, De La Rosa is one of the faster guys on this Texans team. That's why he's playing center field, one of the better athletes. So you got to make sure if that ball hits short into the infield, you got to get on your horse to get that ball so he doesn't get to first base.
1 strike, second strike. 1 strike with that tap down the third base line. We got an 0-2 count now on the batter, De La Rosa. He had more of an advantage on that little dinker down the third base line. Being a left-handed batter, he's a little bit closer to first base. Would have been really hard for Uribe to get him. 0-2 the count. The pitch. Swung on and hit to center field. It's going to be in for a base hit. Coach Perez is going to stop the runner at third, and the bases will be loaded.
And that's interesting, too, because Jackson bobbled the ball as he went to go field it off the ground. That if Coach Perez has sent the runner from third, he might have had a chance to score. Jackson had a hard time getting that ball off the ground.
Yeah, Chavez is at third now on the stop sign from Coach Perez. Jimenez goes down to second. De La Rosa takes up first. Base is full of Texans, and that'll bring up Marcos Lopez, who struck out his last time at bat. First pitch to him, called strike 1. Hits that outside corner. Tough spot for Ortega to work out of here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The 0-1 pitch. Swung on and hit to left field. It's in the air. Micah Couch drifting back and makes the catch. So the fly to 7 will end the inning for the Texans, but not before they get a run on the board. The score is all knotted up here. It's a virtually new ball game here, 1-1 at the end of 2 innings. We'll step aside and go visit the Zach Arnold Productions sponsors. This is High School Baseball on ZAP, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com.
Field Ops North Texas is the trusted name in athletic field marketing for schools, teams, leagues, and tournaments. They even do commercial landscaping. The better question is, what can't they do? With fast turnaround times and proven expertise, they make sure your grounds look unbeatable every time. Call 817-908-2194 to find out more.
Back to Sam Houston High School we go to the third inning. Let me tell you about our third inning sponsors, Pops. They are Field Ops. They do more than just field markings. They do commercial landscaping. Find out all John Kling can do by calling 817-908-2194. Field Ops, sponsoring our third inning. As we go to the top of the third, we're going back to the top of the lineup as well for the Volunteers. Jackson Turner, Micah Couch, and Christian Uribe, the 1-2-3, will get their second chance against Jorge Cortez in a 1-1 ball game. As Cortez's first pitch is hit down the line, that's going to stay fair. It's going to roll out to the left field wall. Jackson's going to take off for second, and he's going to get into second safely. He's going to slide in there just to make sure. RBI would start a leadoff double for Jackson Turner. That's what you need if you're Bowie after giving him that 1 run in the bottom of the second.
That ball was so close to hitting third base. I mean, it was literally 6 inches inside the third base bag and just traveled all the way down to that coffin corner at the 312 mark. Great way to lead off the third inning for Bowie.
Now with Jackson standing at second, Micah Couch is going to come up. He was 0 for 1. He lined out to third base back in the first inning in his first plate appearance. And the first pitch he sees runs inside, ball 1. as the sun is going down. There's no sun out in left field that you can see. It's nice and beautiful out there. It's not 92 degrees anymore like they were saying all day it was going to be. It's got to be at least 78, 79.
Yeah, it's a beautiful night for baseball here at Sam Houston.
The 1-0 count from Cortez, and that ball's going to run outside, 2-0. Couch, he's one of the newer players on this team that we see more of. We didn't see a lot of him last season. He's moved up now. He's playing in left field. Guys like him and Isaiah Piper and Zion Sturchill, the ones that are going to carry this team going forward as a lot of the seniors like Jackson Turner graduate on as Cortez steps on back to make sure Jackson's safely into second base.
Yeah, they want to make Jackson aware that they know he's out there, keep him on his toes.
Jackson with double-digit stolen bases last season for the Volunteers. As Micah swings, foul tips into the glove. That's strike one. It looked like he had missed, but got a little bit of contact back to the glove of the catcher. So 2-1 count. Still no outs in the top of the third. And a 1-1 game. Sam Houston scored in the bottom of the second to tie it up before leaving the bases loaded. The 2-1. That ball is hit high out to right center. The right fielder's on his horse. He drops that ball, and that's going to be a error on the right fielder. Jackson's going to take off going around third. He's getting waved in by Coach Crowdis. Jackson's going to score safely as Couch is going to round into third. That's got to be an E9, Pops, as the Volunteers take a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, got to give an E1 because the ball was in the glove of Umansor, and he just popped right back out, and he dropped it. So Turner comes all the way around to score. As you would expect, Coach Crowdis to go ahead and wave him around. And most exciting play in baseball on the error ends up with a runner at third.
And now with the speedy Couch 90 feet away from making it a 3-1 game, Christian Uribe, the hero from Tuesday's game, is going to step up to the plate, and he swings and misses on the first pitch here in the second plate appearance. 0-1. He wanted that too. Yeah, that's got to hurt if you're for Sam Houston. That ball was in the glove of Umansor, and he just couldn't bring it in all the way. And Jackson, instead of tagging up to go to third as that ball's going to run outside, he makes it all the way home.
Good aggressive base running there by Coach Crowdis to go ahead and wave him around, knowing that it was going to take a perfect throw if they were going to try and make a play at the plate on Turner or at third base for Couch, but all hands safe and nobody out.
1-1 count to Uribe. As the 1-1's going to drift outside, 2-1. Still no outs here in the top of the third. One run has already came across the score.
Uribe grounded out to second base his first time up tonight. Looking to bring that runner in from third with another clutch hit here tonight.
The 2-1 from Cortez. That ball is in the dirt. It's going to get past the catcher, and Couch is going to get in home safely to score and make the score 3-1. On a pass ball.
That one scooted right between the legs of Salgado and all the way to the backstop. And I agree with you, a pass ball versus a wild pitch there. Salgado just couldn't get a handle on it. 3-1 the count now.
3-1 count to Uribe. Couch comes in to score on the pass ball. So 2 runs that came across the score, no outs. And on the 3-1, Uribe hits that ball high. It's going to stay in the park, but it's going to be out into foul territory. It's going to drop as the first baseman. Give good chase to it. Not able to get under it. It's 3-2, full count.
Yeah, we've talked about the athleticism of Sturgill for Bowie. That was a good play by Noah Borrego, giving it his all, losing his hat along the way, trying to catch up to that one.
Yeah, it was a foot race between Umansor and Borrego, and neither one could catch up to it. That ball just carried too far foul out into that coffin corner at right field. It's deep out there too on both sides of the stadium here at Sam Houston. A lot of foul territory. The 3-2, that ball's hit back up the middle, and it's going to drop in front of De La Rosa for a base hit.
Good, solid stroke there by Uribe. Gets that base hit. Good to see him making some contact after the base hit that drove in the walk-off runs the other night, and following up here with a good base hit in the top of the third.
Yeah, Uribe, he's been on a tear this season. Games I've seen him coming into this game, he was 8 for 9. He's 1 for 2 tonight. So he's got a good season ahead of him the way he's been playing so far. As Ortega looks at a called strike outside. So it's an 0-1 count. Ortega is going to be working safely, at least with the 3-1 lead if the inning was to end here with no more runs coming across. But he has a chance to try to bring in Uribe and extend his lead and help his own cause. As that 3-1 is going to be hit, Umansor is under it. He is going to look it into his glove this time for out number 1.
He's going to squeeze that one extra tight out there this time and make sure he hangs on to it. The F9 is the first out of the inning.
As Item Fiorentino is going to step up. He is 1 for 1. He got a single back in the second. That was when the Volunteers got the scoring started after Ortega and Fiorentino got back-to-back singles before an RBI wild pitch that Jose Martinez was able to get the run in on. As Uribe's back in time safely.
Close
Dangerous
one.
Play.
That was a close one over there. Uribe really had to get the uniform dirty on that one to get back in time.
First pitch to Fiorentino upcoming. Cortez winds up. Uribe's going to take off. That ball's going to be hit foul down the left field line.
Coach Crowdis trying to help the home plate umpire there by pointing fair on that foul ball. And he just grins afterwards. It didn't work.
Usually he's out there trying to make a play, trying to scoop the ball in. That one he was trying to get a little bit of assist.
So let me help you out, ump here. I saw that one.
As we're going to do it again, 0-1 count. Uribe had to jog all the way back from basically where the shortstop standing back to first.
Item with a base hit his last at bat.
Cortez with the 0-1. He pitches. Fiorentino drops that ball, bunts it back over us.
Yeah.
That's a high bunt. Usually don't see a lot of contact on a bunt like that out of play over the net, over us here in the press box. So there's an 0-2 count. Uribe standing at first. The only out this inning was a fly ball out to right field. 3-1's the score. Volunteers lead. And that ball is hit high out to left field. So De La Rosa's calling for it. He's going to get under it, and he's going to look into the glove. Uribe is going to tag up. No, he's going to think about it and go back to first. 2 away in the top of the third.
Now batting number 8, Josue Martinez.
That's Item flies out to center field. Martinez is going to come up to bat. His first plate appearance was a walk. And on that walk, there's a wild pitch that scored the first run of the ballgame. With 2 away here in the top of the third inning. 3-1 lead for the Volunteers. As the first pitch from Cortez is outside, ball 1. Sanchez in the on-deck circle already has his catching gear on, just in case he has to get ready to go field. The 1-0 swung on and missed. 1-1. Martinez took a big hack at it, couldn't get any contact on it. Score update from across town. Still 1-0 Colts lead over the South Grand Prairie Warriors.
I'm going to tune into the chat over there and see who's pitching for Arlington tonight as Uribe takes off for second base, makes it in standing, uncontested throw on a throw there. 2 balls and 1 strike at the plate.
Yeah, 2 balls and 1 strike for Martinez. Uribe just scampered all the way into second. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 away. As the 2-1's going to get away from Cortez, 3-1. Sanchez might as well start taking the catcher's gear off with the 3-1 count just in case. As Uribe standing at second, he's got a good lead. 3-1 from Cortez, swung on and missed strike 2. So we got a full count. No, we got a 2 balls, 2 strike count. My apologies.
No, it's full.
It's full count? We do got a full count. The full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with a runner on second. Cortez trying to get out of the inning without another run coming across to score. The 3-2. That ball is hit foul tipped to the glove. And we're going to do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Made just enough contact there to get it to keep the at-bat alive.
Runner in scoring position, 2 outs here. Need a key hit here from Martinez.
The 3-2 to Martinez. And that ball's going to be in the dirt. Ball 4. Second walk of the game for Josue Martinez. And now with 2 outs, the catcher, Raul Sanchez, has to kick off the catcher's gear to come up to bat for the second time of the game.
Now batting, number 13.
I got a reply from Zach the Voice as Arlington is still up 1-0 against a key matchup versus South Grand Prairie. Bouchel's on the mound for the Colts tonight.
There you go.
So Bustamante gets the win Tuesday. Bouchel on the mound tonight.
Bouchel of the famous Bouchels, the mini Bouchels. Bouchel's dad was my coach back in the day, Eric Bouchel. You know, his brother was Eric's brother, Steve, for the former pitcher of the Rangers.
I'm not sure what we're looking at. The umpires,
You got time called.
they're talking to somebody at the fence line that may be taking flash pictures. Yeah, that's what it is. There's a fan taking flash pictures, and they're asking her to stop doing that because she is in the line of sight of the pitcher and some of the fielders.
We got a good crowd here at Sam Houston. Good crowd. As the ump's going to put his mask back on to resume play. So with 2 away in the top of the 3rd inning, 2 runs have already come across the score. You have a runner on second, that's Uribe, and a runner on first. It's Josue Martinez. And the first pitch to Sanchez is going to be a ball outside. As now Martinez got stuck. He's going to be safe, getting back in time safely. I thought he was stuck in the rundown and allowed Uribe to get over the 3rd. That was interesting there because it looked like Martinez might have been out at first.
So runners at the corners now for Bowie with 2 outs.
And that first pitch was a ball. It was outside. That was a good job out there by the catcher, Salgado. He got up, fired it over to first. I really thought he had Martinez in a rundown there. He was able to get that throw in time. But either way, now it's a 1-1 count as that ball is hit fouled back into the steel fence in front of us. It's not a net like it is at Bowie.
Yeah, we've got a really good view here, good camera shot for you.
So 2 away. So 1-1 count to the catcher Martinez. As Martinez is going to take off running, he's going to get in time safely. The catcher Salgado is just going to have to eat it there. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Sanchez, the catcher. After that ball, it was 2-1. The 2-1, that ball is hit, dribbles down the left field line. It is going to roll foul at the last second. It rated as far as it could have went. Decided to roll foul there. So now it's a 2-2 count.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on here. Deuces are running wild here at Sam Houston Texan ball field.
Somebody find Emmitt Smith. He needs to start running for me. So that way the Deuces can be really running wild. Uribe at 3rd. Martinez at 2nd. Sanchez looking at a 2-2 count as time is called. Time is granted. 2 runs have already come across here to score thanks to an E9, an error of a ball that dropped out of the glove of Uman Zor out in right field that allowed Jackson Turner to get the scoring started. As that ball is going to be hit high, it's going to stay infield, though. It's going to be called in by the second baseman, and that's going to end the inning. Bowie's going to strand 2 runners on base, but get 2 across in the top of the 3rd. Going to the bottom of the 3rd, the Volunteers lead 3-1. This is Zach Arnold Productions, presented to you by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
Are you a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage? Or perhaps you're navigating the complexities of Medicare? Look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent insurance agency with over 50 years of experience with tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need home and auto, business insurance, or individual or group medical, Chapman Cornelius has knowledgeable agents who will help you select just what you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott at 817-265-3346.
Looking for a plumber you can rely on? Pipe & Peak handles all your residential plumbing needs. From tunneling and slab leaks to camera inspection and sewer repair, and even cast iron replacement. They offer competitive pricing and now offer financing to make repairs easier to manage. Family owned and trusted for over 16 years, they treat every home like their own. Call 817-807-7069 to get your free quote and get your plumbing handled right.
Back to Sam Houston High School, where the Volunteers lead 3-1, going to the bottom of the third inning, where the Sam Houston Texans will come up to bat. The 3-4-5 batters will step up to the plate. Mark Ramos, Noah Borrego, and Angel Salgado, the 3-4-5 in the lineup for the Sam Houston Texans. And I want to send a shout out to Mrs. Roser. She's watching the game tonight on Zap. Your son let me know you were watching, so I wanted to give you a shout out to see if you would text him back or not. He's doing a good job up here PAing for us tonight at Sam Houston.
Yeah, we were all ready for the national anthem. The players are all lined up and ready for it, and we tried to get the national anthem sung tonight. And he wasn't going for that. No acapella star playing a banner tonight for us.
No acapella star. As Mark Ramos, one of the stars of this team here for the Sam Houston Texans, is going to come up to bat. He's 1 for 1. He got a single back in the first inning. As Ortega set for what appeared to be a long time during that top of the third inning for the Volunteers. As the first pitch is going to run outside, ball 1. One 0 count to Ramos, playing shortstop tonight as he looks at another ball run away low and outside, ball 2. 2-0 count. The Volunteers lead 3-1. As that's going to be ball 3. So 3 straight pitches, 3 balls, all outside for Roman Ortega. I always seem to mess that up somewhere along the way.
Got to put the right emphasis on the correct syllable.
As Ramos drops down a bunt, doesn't pull it back in time safely to take strike 1. That was an interesting approach there on a 3-0.
You kind of expect Ramos to keep the bat on his shoulder and force Ortega to come in.
But now he's worked himself back. Now Ortega's worked himself back to a pitcher's count here, 3-2. Ramos, he had the bunt drop down. He just didn't pull it back. When you have a 3-0 like that. Now the 3-2 is hit foul into a net right behind home plate.
Good protecting the plate there by Mark Ramos.
Noah Borrego, the first baseman, he's on deck. Ramos looking at a 3-2 count. He's 1 for 1 on the night as he's going to get to first base safely on the walk.
Watch him go to second.
He's going to take off. He's rolling for second.
There he
Sanchez
goes.
is not paying attention. He's going to fire over to second. Ramos is going to get in time safely over to second. Sanchez threw that ball at the last minute, had a hard time grabbing it off the wall here in front of us.
Ramos, a speedy runner, and I saw him, I thought right from the get-go there he was probably going to try and take second because that ball, there's a huge amount of territory between the plate and the backstop here at Sam Houston Field. We got number 7 coming in for Sam Houston to run at second base.
As Benjamin De La Rosa, number 7, is going to come to run in a pinch run situation for Mark Ramos.
So Benjamin De La Rosa, not Sebastian. We're just going to call him Benja, running at second base. He's probably got a nickname in the dugout, but we'll go with Benja.
If he scores, he's all about the Benjamins because he's straight money. Straight cash, homie.
Umpires making all the changes to their rosters.
I wonder now if we have a pinch runner for Ramos. Ramos is usually a pitcher when I've seen him, at least for Sam Houston. If maybe he'll go start warming up to come in in relief inning for Cortez. Just seems like the interesting approach to me.
So nobody out here, and Benja out at second brings up Borrego.
As he swings and misses, Borrego does. Strike 1. Good fastball there by Ortega. So now with the runner on second, No outs here in the bottom of the third inning. The bottom of the second inning saw the Texans leave the bases loaded. They don't want to have that situation this inning as they try to get into a situation they can tie the game back up. As I believe Ramos is warming up over there. As Borrego's going to hit that ball foul. He tried to bunt his way on base. On base.
Same thing.
Same thing. So
Same thing, different term.
It's 0-2. Quick 0-2 now after that foul ball. Salgado, the catcher, on deck circle as time is called.
Borrego felt Ortega taking a little bit too much time on the mound there and steps out and takes an extra swing.
No pitch clock here in high school like there is in the major leagues, which may or may not be a good thing. The 0-2 as that ball's going to be hit foul down the third base line again.
Coach Perez makes a good play on it down there in the third base coaching box.
I would, though, like to suggest a rule change in basketball that there should be a shot clock in high school basketball. So I've seen a lot of teams and videos that just hold the ball with 50 seconds on the game clock.
Let's do the old 4 square, pass the ball around.
As the 0-2 swung on and missed, strike 3. Third strikeout of the game for Ramon Ortega.
Nice movement on that ball there by Ortega as he gets the swinging strikeout for the first out. That ball had a lot of movement, like it was heading inside, and then it sailed right back over the plate at the last minute.
Roman Ortega has 3 strikeouts. 2 of those belong to Noah Borrego. As Angel Salgado is going to step up to the batter's box. Grounded out back to the pitcher in the second inning. As the first pitch, it looked like a ball outside, but we called a strike. 0-1. So that ball got away from Sanchez somehow. He's getting ready to throw it back to Ortega. But he scampered back in time. De La Rosa on second base wasn't gonna make it to the third in time. No issues there, nothing to worry about. The 0-1 in the dirt. 1-1. As the lights are going off over there at the field house over left field. Just flashing back and forth. As De La Rosa is going to take off for third. That ball's going to be hit foul, though, by Salgado.
Had a little hit and run going there, set up by Coach Perez.
I think so. I think De La Rosa would have made it into third safely if Salgado could have pulled off on that swing there. But instead, he's looking at a 1-2 count with 1 away in the bottom of the third inning. The 1-2, and that's strike 3. Good outside pitch there. Over the plate, though, for Roman Ortega.
2 strikeouts in a row.
And now we go from 2 strikeouts in a row to 2 angels in a row. This one's Angel Quintero. He's also grounded out this time, but he grounded out in a 4-3 ground out back in the second. So 2 away in the bottom of the third inning as Ortega's going to throw a low ball in the dirt, ball 1. The Volunteers are trying to extend their win streak as that ball's going to be hit foul out to purgatory on the right field, the right side of the field. Can't think of what that's called, Pops. The right part of the field. It's foul over there.
Foul over no man's land.
No man's land. I think that's where they send the monsters in Monsters, Inc. when they act up. No man's land. So it's a 1-1 as the runner's going to take off. That ball's going to be hit to short. Vega's going to field it. Fire to first. He is not in time. He's going to get over the head of the first baseman, Sturgill. 1 run's going to score as the runner, Quintero, is going to make it into second. And the Texans are going to get on the board there, 3-2. Pops, is that going to go as an E6?
That's an E6 because it was a poor throw.
An E6 is going to score the run from second, and the Texans have cut into the lead 3-2.
Quintero makes it all the way to second on the error. Ramos or Benja De La Rosa scores. But yeah, that was a ball that was fielded by Vega and just a poor throw. First pitch here is a strike.
to Matthew Umanzor. He has a chance to make up, though, for that error that helped the Volunteers score in the top of the third by bringing in the runner at second. Umanzor does. He's 1 for 1, as that one's going to be outside in the dirt. 1-1. 1-1 count.
Umanzor did get a base hit his last at bat and scored the first Texan run. So he's had some decent production so far tonight at the plate.
With Quintero at second. The 1-1 is swung on and missed. Strike 2.
Maybe pressing a little bit hard to do a little makeup there for that bobble in right field.
Just a little bit. But if he finds a way to hit this ball in the gap between first and second, that will score the run from second easily.
There is a big hole on that right side.
As the shift has been applied for Umanzor, and we have time call. Wonder if he sees the same thing we do, is that shift is over there between first and second. But Piper is playing very shallow in right field. As is a 1-2 count, 2 away in the bottom of the third. One Texan has already came across the score with a tying run standing at second base. That tying run is going to take off. He's going to be out at third with good throw by Sanchez. Got him by a mile there. And that's going to end the Texan threat. 3-2 is the score going to the top of the fourth inning. This is Volunteer Baseball presented to you by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back after this.
Modern West Windows and Doors invites you to see the difference. Whether you need sliding doors, bay windows, or just need a more modern look, Modern West has options to fit both your style and budget. Stop by the showroom at 1211 6th Avenue in Fort Worth to see for yourself, or call 682-255-6094 for more information.
Hey, this is John Wade Jr., Colt Football 97, class of 98. And the next time you have a roofing issue, be sure and call Arlington's favorite roofer, John Wade Roofing. Look us up on the internet at johnwaderoofing.com.
We're back to Sam Houston High School, going to the top of the fourth inning. And I got to talk about something Pops is talking about. I had a hassle of a day at work, but the people I need to make the life not be a hassle is Trinity Logistics Services. They make sure that hauling's not a hassle for you. They have the dumpsters that fit any size project, and they can drop off and pick up so you can focus on cleaning up your house for a win or your business for a win as well. Call Chet Soto at 817-693-1302 for more info. That is Trinity Logistics Services. They are our fourth inning sponsors for the ZAP Network.
You know what I like about that line about Trinity Logistics Services? I love the way they say, we'll drop it off and we'll pick it up and haul all your junk away, all your trash. I like that part.
All you got to do is throw it in the bin and we'll take care of the rest. That's what you need there when you need a good partner that can pick everything up and take it away for you, and that's what Trinity Logistics Services does. As the Volunteers have done a good job of picking each other up there to give them the 3-2 lead, and they're going to come up to bat here at the top of the fourth inning. It'll be the 8-9-1 batters, Andrew Vega, Isaiah Piper, and then the top of the lineup, Jackson Turner.
Yeah, we got a fun ball game. If you know anybody that wants to listen in, somebody out of town, a grandparent, an aunt and uncle, a parent that's on a business trip, send them the link at Zach the Voice on YouTube, and they can tune in for free. No paywall with Zach Arnold Productions. We rely on our sponsors. So share that link, and if you want to join us in the chat, let us know where you're watching from. If you sign up for the YouTube channel, in a few short 10 minutes, you can be in the live chat.
As the first pitch to Vega is going to be a called strike there. The number 8 hitter, he's 0 for 1 on the night, going against Jorge Cortez. As he swings and misses there. Big whiff, 0-2. Quick 0-2 for Vega.
Cortez on for his fourth inning of work here for the Texans. Close 3-2 ball game.
As he swings and misses, is going to get set down on 3 straight pitches there as Andrew Vega. Out number 1 in the bottom, on the top of the fourth inning. That's only the 3rd strikeout for Cortez tonight. But it was on 3 straight pitches. Vega just not seeing the ball there. Or he saw something he wanted and couldn't make contact. As Piper's going to hit that ball foul out of the ballpark over the right field wall. Quick 0-1 to Isaiah Piper. 0 for 1. He has been a strikeout casualty as well. as the third baseman's playing in, looking for anything on the ground. Time is called. And make sure, like Pop said, you subscribe to the YouTube channel. The goal is to get to 1,000. We're almost there. The hope is to get there by the end of baseball season. If not, we will be there for sure when football season starts in the fall. But the goal is 1,000. When we get to 1,000, there's a few more things that Zach Arnold Productions can do to bring the better quality to you and help support our kids here in the AISD area. As the 0-1 is hit foul back into the net, 0-2. Quick 0-2. As it looks like Pop's making a paper football next to me, an old school paper football.
Old school paper football is going to be slid under the left edge of the camera to try and right the horizon here in between innings.
Here's the 0-2 to Isaiah Piper. And that's going to be the second straight strikeout of the inning for Cortez. Piper goes down on 3 pitches as well. So 6 pitches, 2 strikeouts. Back to the top of the lineup, Jackson Turner, the speedy center fielder, is 1 for 2 on the night. He struck out to start the game in the first inning, but he got a big double back in the third. He needs to try to extend that momentum there off that double and extend this inning. As the first pitch, much like Piper's first pitch, hit foul over the right field wall, out towards the Texan bullpen.
Turner with that hot shot down the left field line last at bat.
The 0-1 can get past the catcher, 1-1. That ball is way outside. The 9th pitch of the inning upcoming for Cortez. At least we're not going to have a perfect inning, immaculate inning.
No. We've seen one of those in Zach Arnold Productions history down at a tournament game in Austin 2 years ago. No, 3 years ago it would be now.
But Turner's going to swing on that and miss. Strike 2, so it's a 1-2 count. 9 pitches so far have been thrown this inning, 2 strikeouts. Turner trying not to be the third strikeout of the inning. The 1-2 to Jackson. That ball is hit high. It's going to stay in play. Shortstop, second baseman's calling for it. Second baseman's not going to get to it. Jackson's going to get in past first. He's going to get into second, slide head first, and he's going to be called out.
No,
he's called safe. It looked like he called out at first.
Umpire waited for a long time on that call. Good hustle by Turner there to see nobody was covering second on that little dumper that went into no man's land between 3 Texans converging.
Yeah, much like the play earlier that Sturgill had that he couldn't get to it, the second baseman for the Texans wasn't able to track that ball down. Jimenez, he had it. It was just in that gap there between short, right, and second. Jackson used his speed, rounding first, and it slid into second. It was a bang-bang play at second, too. Pops, does that go as a double, or does that go as an E4? Or is it much like Sturgill's play where it was
I would give it a base hit and a stolen base, an extra base. Because that ball was hanging in the air forever, for one thing. 1 strike on the batter at the plate.
Micah Couch, he's 0 for 1. Reached base on the E9 that started the scoring for the Volunteers back in the third inning to help extend that lead as that ball hit back into the fence in front of us, 0-2.
Bouchel in trouble over at Arlington High as South has tied the game at 1, and they still have the bases loaded with 2 outs. Key district matchup over at the Colt Field.
This Cortez is going to step off the mound here. 0-2 count to Micah Couch, 2 away. Jackson Turner standing at second. He's got a lot of speed. If anything's hit out into a gap, expect Turner to be called home. Running home. He's got a lot of speed. As the 1-2 doesn't make it all the way to the plate, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, that is the 1-2. I'm sorry. Speaking of 1-2, South Grand Prairie has taken a 2-1 lead on the other part of the Zap network. The 1-2 swung on and missed, and that is going to be the third strikeout of the inning. Jackson's going to be stranded at second base, and the Volunteers are going to go down 3 strikeouts in the 4th inning. That means we're going to get up and stretch. I need a stretch because my brain is falling asleep here. It is the 4th inning stretch, and it's good music to stretch through too, Pops. The 4th inning stretch. Let's see how the final innings unfold. You can see how things unfold at Modern West Windows and Doors. They invite you to see the difference new windows can make in your home. Visit modernwestwindows.com to learn more about our sponsors of the Zap 4th inning stretch. We'll be right back after this.
When your high school field needs to look game ready, trust John Kling and the pros at Field Ops North Texas. This veteran-owned team delivers fast turnaround and long-lasting field striping for football, soccer, lacrosse, and more, using professional-grade paint and equipment. Field Ops proudly serves schools and communities across North Texas, helping student-athletes compete on fields that look as good as they play. Get a free quote today by visiting gofieldops.com/north-texas.
Navigating Medicare options isn't easy. Hi, I'm Patsy Arnold, and when the time came to navigate my options, I went to Chapman Cornelius. They helped me find the best plan for my needs, quoted me life insurance options, and guided me in making my decisions every step of the way. They want to do the same for you, so give them a call at 817-265-3346 or visit chapman-cornelius.com.
Back to Sam Houston High School on the east side of Arlington. And just an update from across town, the Texans, update from across town, the Warriors have a 2-1 lead with the bases loaded against the Arlington Colts with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. And it looks like Brendan Bouchel has been pulled from that game. Make sure you check in over there to see what the reigning defending District 868 champions are up to. Zach has that call there at Arlington High. As we're back here with Roman Ortega throwing a first pitch strike. So 7-8-9 guys. Matthew Umanzor Chavez and then Brandon Jimenez up to bat as that 0-1. It's called a strike 0-2. A quick 0-2 for Umanzor, who's 1 for 1. He got a single back in the second. And he stood there and watched Quintero get caught stealing to end the bottom of the 3rd inning. After that pass ball is a 1-2. The 1-2 pitch from Ortega. It swung on and missed. Strike 3. Umanzor is going to be set down. 5th strikeout of the game for Roman Ortega. He's finally settled into a good spot there on the mound as he gets ready to face Tristan Chavez, who he walked back in the 2nd inning. A lot of Ks on the scoreboard tonight. 5 for Ortega, 6 for Chavez. As the first pitch is hit out to left field, Couch is on his horse to go get it, and it's going to be called off by Jackson Turner, who's going to look it into his glove. 1 pitch, 1 out there for out number 2 on the F8.
Good communication out there in center and left between Micah Couch and Jackson Turner. Both of them converging on that fly ball, and Turner calls him off and makes the put out.
Brandon Jimenez, the second baseman, is going to step into the batter's box. 2nd plate appearance for him on the night. He is 1 for 1. He got the RBI single, got the Texans on the board back in the 2nd inning. Earlier in the top of the 4th, he had that ball that blooped over his head that allowed Jackson Turner to get on base. But no runs were able to come across the score for the Volunteers. As the first pitch he sees is a called ball out and away from the plate there. 1-0 count. Jimenez looks at a strike there on the outside part of the plate. 1-1. Good comeback pitch by Ortega. So it's a 1-1 count, 2 away in the bottom of the 4th inning. The 1-1, that's going to be called ball 2.
This umpire calls the plate a lot like I used to. I had a really tight inside corner and a really loose outside corner.
Sounds like me when I'm taking a right turn, as that ball's going to be hit back into the net right in front of us for a foul ball. So it's a 2-2 count. I didn't know how to respond to that. That was the first thing that came to my mind. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Texans trailed 3-2 to the Volunteers. The Battle of New York Avenue. As that's going to be a strikeout there. 2nd strikeout of the inning. 6th strikeout of the game for Roman Ortega. And the Texans go down in order. The Vols will come back to bat in the top of the 5th inning. We'll bring that back to you after this. This is Zach Arnold Productions bringing you Bowie Volunteer Baseball.
Modern West Windows and Doors is a partner of the Zap Network. They're also partnered with trusted industry leaders like Lowen, Weather Shield, and Simpus to guarantee quality product and installation. Whether you're searching for new concepts for your entryway, living room, dining room, bedroom, or even a workshop, Modern West has the solutions you're looking for. Visit the showroom at 1211 6th Avenue in Fort Worth or visit modernwestwindows.com.
Navigating Medicare options isn't easy. Hi, I'm Patsy Arnold, and when the time came to navigate my options, I went to Chapman Cornelius. They helped me find the best plan for my needs, quoted me life insurance options, and guided me in making my decisions every step of the way. They want to do the same for you, so give them a call at 817-265-3346 or visit chapman-cornelius.com.
Whenever a plumbing problem hits your home, experience matters. Pipe & Peak is a family-owned residential plumbing company with 16 years of experience that you can trust. They handle everything from yard leaks and slab leaks to tunnel work, and they're specialists in replacing old cast iron pipe. No job is too big or too small, and their pricing stays competitive. If you're seeing signs of aging pipes, now's the time to act. Send an email to Caleb Renfro to see how Pipe & Peak can help your home.
To Sam Houston High School in the top of the fifth inning we go. And we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Sam Houston Texans. But before we tell you about him, let us tell you about our friends at Pipe & Peak Plumbing. They sponsor our mid-game pitching change. All pitching changes all season are presented to you by Pipe & Peak. They've been serving the Arlington area for over a decade. So arrange a free quote by calling 817-807-7069. The new pitcher, Mark Ramos. As Ramos, the first pitch he sees, he throws, he gets the runner out there. One pitch, one out. That's a good, effective way to come out of the theoretical bullpen.
Yeah, Uribe swinging on the first pitch there and chops it right to the third baseman, Lopez, for the out. So who's playing at short for Sam now?
That one I cannot see, Pops.
I'm gonna put the spy glasses on here.
Marcos Lopez is playing at short. So we have a new third baseman then. As Ortega looks at it, first pitch ball, swung on a miss. So it's a 1-1 count. Mark Ramos is known for being a kind of a volunteer beater. The last 2 seasons he's done a shutout, I believe 2 shutouts the last 2 seasons versus the Volunteers. As that pitch is swung on and missed. I'm sorry, that's 3 pitches. That's a strikeout there. The first one wasn't the ball, it was a strike. So Ortega down in 3 pitches to Ramos. And Ramos, 4 pitches already through the top of the 5th inning and 2 outs. As Fiorentino's going to step up for his hacks at Ramos. He's 1 for 2 on the night. As first pitch swinging, Ramos is going to field it. Nope, second baseman's going to field it. Fire over to first, and that's going to end the inning. 5 pitches for the relief pitcher, Ramos. And that's going to get the Texans back up to bat here in the bottom of the 5th. They trailed 3-2, and we'll bring that back to you right after this. This is Bowie Baseball presented by John Wade Roofing.
John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com.
Taquería Taco Express es la taquería oficial de Zach Arnold Productions. Con un amplio y auténtico menú, satisface tus antojos o prepara tu próximo evento con nosotros. Visítanos todos los martes para disfrutar de Taco Tuesday con 5 tacos y un agua fresca por solo $10. Para encontrar sucursales cercanas o hacer pedidos en línea, visita taqueriatacoexpress.com.
Well, that escalated quickly as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. where the Volunteers lead 3-2 over the Sam Houston Texans. Mark Ramos came out of the hypothetical bullpen there, which he was playing shortstop to start the game. Got 5 pitches, got 3 outs. Now the Texans come with the bat for the bottom of the 5th inning. Sebastian De La Rosa, the number 1 man in this lineup. He got a lot of speed. The speedy center fielder back up to the top of the lineup. He's going to get his first hacks at Ortega, the bottom of the 5th. Texans trail 3-2. As De La Rosa looks at a ball outside in the dirt, ball 1. So it should be De La Rosa, Marcos Lopez behind him, and then Mark Ramos, the 1-2-3 batters for the Texans. As that ball's going to be a bloop single. Nope, it's going to be caught by Micah Couch. That infield's been playing short all night for the Volunteers, and it came in handy there for the F7.
Yeah, Micah's playing so short, he had only to move about 3 steps to snag that one that should, if the fielders were playing in a more traditional position out there, would have been an in for a base hit.
As Marcos Lopez was slated at third base. We had some shifting around there. He was slated at third base. He's come up to bat now for his 3rd plate appearance. He looks at a ball in the dirt, ball 1. He's 0 for 2. He struck out back in the 1st and flew out to Micah Couch back in the 2nd. So Couch has been busy out there in left field. As the 0-1 swung on, big hack, nothing comes up empty there, 1-1. The Texans trailed 3-2. There's still plenty of time for them to tie this game up. But the way Ortega's pitching might be easier said than done. But that ball is going to be in the dirt. It's going to bounce away from Sanchez. It's going to be just eaten up there, 2-1.
As Zach would say, in a 3-2 ball game, runs are at a premium tonight.
At a premium, like gasoline. 2-1 count. That ball is outside again, 3-1. As time is called.
Umpire giving some instructions.
He's telling the guy to stop saying 6-7 or whatever they were doing with the hand movements. Either way, he's giving the warning to the Texans dugout. Somebody below me down in the kitchen also cheering on Marcos Lopez. The 3-1. Oh. And that hits him in his arm. That ran in the side and got him. So the first hit by pitch by Ortega on the night.
Takes one for the team there, and that puts a runner at first base for Sam with 1 out in the inning.
I will tell you, I've seen a lot of hit-by pitches this season, especially covering Arlington High. Abe Alvarado for Arlington High had 4 hit-by pitches this season in games that I've called. So he's had a very painful season as well.
Speaking of Arlington High, the wheels have come off over at the Colt Field. In the top of the 4th inning, South Grand Prairie is up 7-1.
Yeah, that's the definition of that escalated quickly.
Or de-escalated. Something it fell quickly apart. Zach says there is a trend. Arlington has a habit of winning the games over at South Grand Prairie, like they did Tuesday, and they typically lose the game against South on the home field.
Well, if that trend,
that seems to be going true tonight.
If that trend continues at the end of the season, if these two teams meet like they did last season for district championship, hopefully it's at South Grand Prairie like it was last year.
Right.
As Ramos, the new pitcher, he's batting in his 3rd spot. He's going to come up to bat here for the 3rd time of the game. He's 1 for 1. He singled back in the 1st, and he walked back in the 3rd. He has a runner on first, Marcos Lopez, who took that hit by pitch in the arm. The first pitch to Ramos was in the dirt, ball 1. So it's a 1-0 count, 1 away, and 1 runner on. Lopez is going to take off running, but it's not going to matter. That ball is hit foul.
Pettis had the hit and run on there again as the runner took off with the pitch. Lopez almost to second base by the time Ramos fouled that one off.
And they're testing the arm of Sanchez, the catcher there. This is a new catcher this season, Raul Sanchez. Last season was Roberto De Leon, one of the better players in the district. Sanchez has done a good job as the new catcher this season for the Volunteers, but that doesn't mean that teams aren't trying to test him because they know De Leon's not back there anymore. As the pitch out to first base, runners back in time safely. I hear the kazoo from the Bowie theme song. As we have another pitch out to the first base, and he's back again safely. My daughter here, because I hear the Bowie theme song below me.
Maybe that's somebody's nickname on the Sam team.
Bluey. Bluey.
Oh, close.
Another pitch out again, but it doesn't get Lopez. Lopez back in time safely. Ortega's trying.
Good throw there by Ortega that time, but Lopez able to get back just in time.
I don't know if they do the hidden ball trick in high school. If that's allowed or not. As Ramos swings and misses. The throw over to second. Lopez is in time safely with the stolen base.
That was a ball.
He swung and missed.
Swung and missed. Strike at the plate, 1-2.
And Lopez got into second safely. Good job by Sanchez, though. He popped up. He just couldn't get the throw over to second in time. Lopez had a pretty good lead despite the 3 pitch outs from Ortega.
Coach Perez out to second base to check on his player who slid belly first into the bag. But it looks like Lopez is just fine.
So it's a 1-2 count to Ramos, the number 3 hitter in the lineup. On deck is Noah Borrego, the first baseman. The Texans trailed 3-2, but the tying run is at second base. As time is called for Ramos. A shift has been applied by the Volunteers infield. So there's a big gap between first and second. But Piper's playing shallow. As the 1-2 doesn't catch the corner there, 2-2. Ramos not only a good hitter, he's a good pitcher. He came in that last inning, 5 pitches, got 3 outs of Volunteers. Trying to help his own cause. Runner's going to take off. That ball's going to be hit foul into the dugout. Since some Texans running out of there, that could have been dangerous. Lopez is going to draw back into second.
Coach Perez with the hit and run call on again, trying to get that runner from second in, give him a little extra 5 or 6 steps on that pitch.
2-2. That ball's going to be hit to the shortstop, Vega. Vega's going to field it. Fire over to first. Ramos slides in. He's going to make it safely. That ball is going to get away from the first baseman, Sturgill. Where did it go? Did it go out of bounds?
They're saying the first baseman, Sturgill, says he feels like it went into the Texan dugout, which would make it a dead ball. When you're throwing the ball from the field, it's 2 extra bases from the field, 1 from the mound. So that should bring Lopez in to score and tie this game up. Umpires want to confer to make sure they've got their rule right.
Because Ramos looked like he was in time safely sliding head first into first, but the ball wasn't, the throw wasn't on the mark to get him.
If the ball indeed went into the Texan dugout, which we couldn't exactly see from our vantage point here, then the batter runner, Ramos, would be at second, and the runner from second should score. Coach Johnson contesting that, but the rule of thumb is 1 from the mound, 2 from the field.
Would the question
2 bases from the field.
Would the question be, too, would Ramos' slide head first, would that be some type of interference to prevent Sturgill from catching the ball?
No.
No?
No, because the ball bounced before he got there and then went into the dead ball area. I don't think that's what Johnson is contesting here. I think he feels like the runner should have stayed at third on the dead ball. He's trying to say that the ball was dead as soon as it hit the dugout, therefore he can't advance, but that's not the rule. The rule should be 2 advanced bases on any dead ball based on where you were when the pitch was thrown. So the runner was already off second when the throw was made by Vega. It went into the dead ball area, and he should have been plated. But I'm gonna wait on marking my score sheet until the umpires decide.
Looks like we have a pinch runner for Ramos either way.
No, I think they're bringing the run off the board, and now Coach Perez has a bone to pick, because I may be wrong, but the rule may have changed. But when that ball went down, or there's some other factor going on here I can't see. But the only thing that, from what we can see,
it looks like they're having the runner go over the one runner's coming back to run at third.
Yeah, Lopez is coming back. They're marking him dead at the dead ball point. He was between second. This is an incorrect interpretation of this rule. The runner was between. He had not made it to third yet when the ball went dead. The umpires are killing the play and saying he should stay at third because he hadn't attained third yet. That is an incorrect interpretation, because on a dead ball situation like that, the runner should have advanced automatically 2 bases.
Well, then my next question will be, Ramos is walking back to second.
He should be at first by their interpretation of the rule. They're leaving Ramos at second on that play. They're only granting him 1 base also because he had made the base by the time the throw was in the dugout.
Okay.
So they're only giving 1 from the mound, which is not correct. It was Vega who threw the ball. I'm going to be quiet now. Let's play ball with runners at second and third.
Runners at second and third. That first pitch there is hit foul, but the runner's going to make it in home safely. Was that ball not hit
there
foul?
We go.
I guess all of that is mute now as the game is now tied. The runner, I guess, is taken off for home. It looked like it was hit foul, was it not?
The runner, I didn't see it or hear it hit foul. I think he backed out of the way in time and the ball got away from the catcher. But the run that we felt should have scored, I felt should have scored on the rule interpretation, scored anyway. So there we go. And Ramos is now at third on the pass ball.
As Borrega's going to hit that ball high, Jackson's going to call for it. He's going to get under it. As the runner from third is going to take off, Sanchez, good throw by Jackson to make that runner go back. Ramos scampers back to third base. So the game is now tied 3-3. After that, it looked like he had swung. Borrega had swung at that pitch there, which I guess wouldn't matter either way. But now the runner has scored, so Ramos is at third. 2 away in the bottom of the fifth. The Texans have tied the game up 3-3. After Borrega had just flew out to center field, Salgado's first pitch, he looks at for a called strike. So much confusion there.
There's a lot going on with that throw into the dead ball area. I'm going to have to check the rules. Maybe high school baseball changed their rule. That's the only thing I can think of. But this old umpire always went by the rule of thumb. One from the mound. If it throws into a dead ball area from the pitcher, 1 from the mound, advance, 2 from the field.
All right, so now we're looking at a 1-2 after Salgado swings and misses there on that 1-1. So it's a 1 ball, 2 strike count, bottom of the fifth, 2 away. Ramos standing at third as that ball's going to hit foul into the net in front of us. And we're going to need to check some rules here after this break coming up here soon, shortly, possibly.
Maybe a mute point at this time. Bottom of the fifth inning. Tie ball game, though. Exciting game.
The 1-2 doesn't get the call. Ortega thought he had the call.
I thought it was a little high. Mr. Salgado is short of stature, so that ball was a little bit high on him.
He's going to have a conversation with his third base coach.
Coachable moment here for Coach Perez and Angel Salgado.
Sam Houston looking for their first district win of the season. They're 0-3. The Volunteers are 2-1 after winning that game on Tuesday. The 2-2 outside, full count. Angel Quintero on deck. Salgado at the batter's box. 3-2 count. The 3-2 pitch. That ball swung on. Jackson's calling for it, and he's going to look into the glove for out number 3. But the Texans tie the game up on a very confusing to me play. But Pop's here. He had the rule book scouted. He knew what was going on. The Texans tied the game up 3-3 going to the top of the 6th inning. And we'll bring that top of the 6th inning right back to you after this.
Field Ops North Texas is the trusted name in athletic field marketing for schools, teams, leagues, and tournaments. They even do commercial landscaping. The better question is, what can't they do? With fast turnaround times and proven expertise, they make sure your grounds look unbeatable every time. Call 817-908-2194 to find out more. Looking for a plumber you can rely on? Pipe & Peak handles all your residential plumbing needs. From tunneling and slab leaks to camera inspection and sewer repair, and even cast iron replacement. They offer competitive pricing and now offer financing to make repairs easier to manage. Family owned and trusted for over 16 years, they treat every home like their own. Call 817-807-7069 to get your free quote and get your plumbing handled right.
Welcome back to the east side of Arlington from the ball field at Sam Houston High School. We've got a new ball game here, Jot, and I'm going to help carry you the rest of the way home here with a 3-3 tie here, heading into the top of the 6th inning. Got an exciting one here. Tell your friends, tell your family, tune in to Zach Arnold Productions and watch how the rest of this game plays out.
Pops, if you're going to carry me, what you need to do, you need to call Trinity Logistics Services. They're good at hauling things away, and I'm quite heavy today. I've been losing weight, but I'm still quite heavy.
All right, as Bowie comes up to bat here in the top of the 6th inning, they're going to send their 6, 7, 8 batters to the plate. Leading off, Josue Martinez. On deck, Raul Sanchez, and in the hole, Andrew Vega to get us started. Mark Ramos still on the mound for the Texans, taking over his first full inning of work here after coming in and relief. Well, his second full inning. He came in at the break. Second full inning of work, and his first pitch is a ball.
Yeah, he threw 5 pitches in the 5th inning. Got a strikeout and 2 groundouts.
That pitch also a little bit outside for the umpire. 2 balls, no strikes to the leadoff batter, Josue Martinez, who has walked both times at bat tonight. Gotten as far as second base before he was stranded, both times. Overcompensation there as that ball's a little chin music. Coach Crowd is trying to help out the home plate umpire and saying he was hit by the pitch and should go to first, but it's just a 3-0 count on the leadoff batter, Martinez. Tie ball game, exciting one. The 3-0 pitch. Right down the pipe for strike 1 called. Hitters count now to Josue Martinez. Ramos comes set on the mound. Time called at the plate by Martinez. Granted by the home plate umpire, who bails out from behind the plate there to make sure everybody knows time's been called. The 3-1 delivery. Swung on and missed. Count runs full.
Yeah. Martinez saw something he wanted there on that 3-1. Probably could have laid off a little bit of it and might have got a better call out of that situation, but now he's worked himself to a 3-2.
Payoff pitch coming from Ramos. Inside and plunks him on the buttock. And he takes the base.
Now Coach Crowder can tell him to go keep on running to first.
Yeah. Hit by pitch, gets the leadoff runner on base. And that'll bring up Raul Sanchez, the catcher for the Bowie Volunteers.
Martinez is yet to actually get an at-bat. He has 3 walks. Walked the second, the third, and he's been hit by a pitch.
Technically 0 for 3 tonight. But he's been on base all 3 times. Good on-base percentage.
There you go.
That'll bring up Sanchez, who has grounded to third and flied to second. His 2 at-bats. Squares the bunt, lays one down back towards the pitcher. The Ramos throws to second to try for the force, and the umpire says no, the foot did not get on the bag in time.
Yeah, you usually don't see a lot of that with the pitcher trying to throw to second, but he didn't have a good enough throw. He threw it to the second baseman nowhere near the bag instead of trying to get the force out at first.
Coach Perez comes out of the dugout and is asking for an appeal to the home plate umpire, who's 20 yards away, further away from the plate than the second base umpire. I don't think we're going to get an appeal on this one, but the umpire has had a much better, the field umpire had a much better angle on that. Foot could have been off the bag, could have been late, all kinds of things.
It looked like
there's a pinch runner coming in for the catcher who just hit that ball. We'll have to see what his number is when he turns around on us here. Coach Perez not liking the answer to the call. That's going to put 2 runners on.
That was an interesting choice there to try to go to second. It looked like he threw to the second baseman that wasn't on the bag. Either the second or shortstop was on the bag. Yeah. He threw to the other one, so it made it to play harder instead of trying to just get the force out at first. But
we're going to score that a fielder's choice on both plays. Fielder's choice allows Josue Martinez to get into second and allow Raul Sanchez, the catcher, to get a fielder's choice base hit there. That'll bring up Andrew Vega. We're not real sure. These dark Bowie uniforms are really hard to see the numbers from here. So we're going to give credit to the man who hit the ball, Sanchez, even though we know he's back on the bench putting his gear on. Nobody out, 2 runners on here for Bowie. Squares to bunt does Vega, and he taps it foul at the plate for strike 1. Big inning here with a runner on second base for Vega to come through in a clutch position here with nobody out.
Coach Johnson and Coach Crowder is going to play a little small ball here.
That one's fouled off the catcher's helmet to the backstop. Strike 2. Not likely to continue trying to play small ball here. Fans who know baseball know that if you bunt a ball foul on your 3rd bunt attempt, it's an out. Don't want an out here on that in this situation. So Vega most likely with the green light here hitting away. Ramos comes set on the mound. The 0-2 pitch. He does square to bunt again, and he bunts it up in the air, and that's going to be an out.
That was over our head. That was a very, very aggressive bunt. That's an interesting choice there.
I'm going to write in my little square here, bunt out, because there's no real shorthand for that. But it is the first out of the inning.
But that's an interesting choice there. Like you said, if you bunt foul on 0-2, you're going to sit down. It's just as bad as a strikeout in that situation.
Ramos feigns to second, turns to second, feigns a throw over there just to make sure that Martinez is paying attention. Piper at the plate. First pitch to him is a ball on the inside part of the plate.
Piper's been struck out twice already tonight. He's one of the younger players on this volunteer team, so expecting a lot of things out of him, but he needs to be able to get something here with the runner on second.
Squares to bunt, does he? Pops it up over our heads behind the backstop for the first strike. 1-1 on Piper.
I've never seen this many aggressive foul balls go over our head in the press box.
They're not even getting them close to the field of play on these bunt attempts. 1-1 the count. Runners at first and second. Martinez in scoring position. The bunt attempt again is popped up. It's going to be caught by the pitcher, and it's going to run back to first and get a double play. That is a 1-3 double play. And Sam Houston is out of the inning. So it's going to be an F1 and a 1-3 for the second out and the third out of the inning. And that does it for the Bowie Volunteers in the top of the sixth inning. We'll take a break here heading to the bottom of the sixth. This is still a tie ball game on Zach Arnold Productions, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
Looking for the most unique gift for your student or athlete? Local Legends Figures has you covered. The custom 6-inch figures are designed with you and your legend in mind. They even immortalize yours truly with a custom, never-before-used model to create a Zach the Voice figure for my 30th birthday. Huge thanks to our friends at Local Legends Figures. See pricing and place orders at locallegendsfigures.com.
Las albercas en Texas necesitan servicios durante todo el año. Romy Pools brinda servicios de calidad, incluyendo limpieza, mantenimiento y reparaciones. Llama al número 469-951-0107 para una consulta gratuita y pregunta por Roberto. Romy Pools, haremos que te enamores de tu alberca de nuevo.
Sure. Back live here for the bottom of the sixth inning here from Texan Field on the campus of Sam Houston High School in East Arlington. Score is still tied, 3-3 after a wild top of the sixth inning. Some interesting plays. But that takes us to the bottom of the sixth. The Sam Houston Texans will be bringing up their 6, 7, 8 hole hitters. Angel Quintero, the left fielder, leading off. Matthew Umansor, the right fielder, on deck. And Tristan Chavez, the designated hitter, in the hole to get things started here. We have a new pitcher on the mound. No, that's a 3, isn't it? We have a new pitcher. We've got to find our.
My phone is my phone's over behind me.
We're gonna tune in to our. I got it on my phone here. We're gonna find the lineup for the Bowie Volunteers and try and figure out who this new pitcher is. Maybe it's still number 7. Is that a 7 or a 3, guys? We're going to leave it a 7 for right now. That's just the way it goes. Yeah, that is a 3. So we do have a new pitcher, Micah Couch. Couch is now on the mound for the Bowie Volunteers. And that pitching change means we have a new pitcher coming down the pipe during the break. So if your pipes break, be sure to call Caleb Renfro at Pipe and Peak Plumbing at 817-807-7069. Between inning pitching change brought to you by Pipe and Peak Plumbing. Micah Couch now on the mound We'll have to get the spyglass out and figure out who has taken his place in left field, but that's going to be difficult as the first pitch swinging goes to the right side. Sturgill gets under it, puts it in his glove, falls, but hangs on to it this time. And Angel Quintero is out on a pop to the first baseman for the first out. Umansor coming up to bat now. Umansor got a base hit and scored one of the Texan runs in the second inning, but struck out his last time up. Micah Couch has been playing left field all evening.
I believe that's Brown playing left field now. That would be the thought process I would have.
First pitch coming in does not hold up on his check swing. Umpire rings him up with a strike one.
Yeah, I believe the thought process I'd have would be Brown playing left, Turner's in center, and Piper still in right. That means Ortega would be DHing maybe in his same spot as a pitcher.
A 1 pitch home down low for ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike to Matthew Umansor, number 7 hole hitter here for the Texans in the bottom of the 6th inning. Couch's wind and 1-1 pitch. Down in the dirt, skitters away from Sanchez, but not too far away. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. The 2-1 delivery on its way. Outside and low. Count runs to 3 balls and 1 strike on Matthew Umansor. Hitter's count coming up here for Umansor. We'll see if Coach Bettis gives him the green light from the third base coaching box. 3-1 pitch. Hits that outside corner for strike 2. Count evens. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Umansor. Couch set and ready. And the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. First strikeout for Micah Couch. 2 outs in the inning. That'll bring up Christian Chavez.
And that was a late decision to swing too by Umansor. Like he waited for the call and then he finally swung the bat. It was just the late decision there on the 3-2. A ball that looked like it would have been an actual ball.
I think he was trying to protect the plate there, and just a little bit late. 2 outs down the inning. Chavez up to bat. First pitch to him is a called strike 1. The DH in tonight's ballgame drew a walk, made it as far as third before he was stranded there, and flew out to center his last at bat. The 0-1 pitch, outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike from the pitcher, Micah Couch. His first time on the mound that I have seen him this year, coming on in relief of Ortega. 1-1. Swung on and fouled away at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sanchez pops out of the catcher's position to field that one quickly. Nobody on base, but good hustle there by the catcher. Couch already set and ready with the 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. He gets Chavez looking, and the Texans go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That'll take us to the 7th inning here. We'll step aside and visit our sponsors. This is High School Baseball, brought to you by Zach Arnold Productions, sponsored by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades, and they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com.
Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to hear Zach talk about things beyond the realm of sport, catch him with me, Ben Hart, on the Intergalactic Peace Coalition podcast. For nearly a decade, we've been geeking out on IPC about our favorite nerdy things. We have a back catalog of over 350 episodes diving into sci-fi and fantasy stories like no one else. Find the Intergalactic Peace Coalition at ipcpodcast.podbean.com or download via your favorite podcast app.
Welcome back to the top of the final frame, unless we go to bonus baseball tonight. If we stay tied at 3 like we are right now. Sam Houston 3, Bowie 3, heading into the top of this 7th inning. Bowie sending the top of the order to the plate. Jackson Turner leading off. Micah Couch, the new pitcher, on deck. And Christian Uribe in the hole. First pitch is close to his helmet for ball 1. Mark Ramos on for his 3rd inning of work here in tonight's game in relief. Turner with a double and a base hit his last 2 at-bats. Plated one of the Bowie runs earlier in the game. Swing and a miss. Count runs to 1 ball and 1 strike. Got that double and scored a run in the top of the 3rd. Ramos whined and pitched, fouled off behind us. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ramos gets a new ball. Shrugs his shoulders. The 1-2 delivery. Swung on and fouled again, back into the backstop. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ramos set. The 1-2 delivery to Turner. Swung on and missed. Turner goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the new pitcher who came on in relief last inning, Micah Couch. Micah's been playing left field all evening. He has lined out to the 3rd baseman, got on base and scored after an error and a pass ball in the 3rd, and struck out his last time at bat. Ramos' first delivery to him, swung on and missed for strike 1.
No volunteer hits since Ramos came into the game. Only on base was the hit by pitch.
Another one close inside there for ball 1.
He's got 2 strikeouts. He's got a hit by pitch. He got a double play back in the 6th inning. Other than that, no hits for the Volunteers since Ramos came in to start the top of the 5th inning.
1-1 delivery. Just a bit inside for ball 2. Yeah, such an interesting bunt. It was a little pop bunt out to the pitcher, and then a throw to second. This ball's tapped out to second. Ball's picked up and thrown over to first for the out. 4-3 put out is the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up Christian Uribe. Zatarain, the new second baseman, in for the Volunteers. But that was the second baseman for Sam that made that play. There have been so many changes with the pitching changes. We're not sure who's playing at second base right now. First pitch to Uribe is a called strike 1.
Yeah, if you're out in the field right now and you're listening to us on your headset when your earbuds, because I know every high school kid now wears earpods. If you're listening to us, send us a message in the chat and let me know where position you're playing at so I can write it down.
Next pitch is ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Christian Uribe, who is grounded out to second, got a base hit, and grounded out to third. This one's fouled off to the right side into the parking lot. Count runs to 1 ball and 2 strikes for Mark Ramos. Nobody on base here with 2 outs in the inning. Going to take a timeout here. Ramos taking just a little bit too long on the mound. Uribe asks for time, and it's granted. Everybody's reset. And the 1-2 pitch on its way. Outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The count now to Christian Uribe. Uribe playing the hot corner for the balls as he usually does. Two twos the count. The wind and the pitch. Swung on and fouled again to the right side, off into foul territory. Outside the fences here at Sam. Out onto Billy Stewart Drive here behind the third base dugout. Billy Stewart, a longtime assistant principal and principal here at Sam Houston High School. Got a street named after him. Umpire liked that one and rung it up for a looking strikeout for Mark Ramos. That is the 3rd out of the inning. Bowie Volunteers go down with no runs on the board. We're still tied at 3, headed to the bottom of the 7th inning. We'll see what Sam Houston can do. We'll step aside and visit our sponsors. This is High School Baseball, presented by Zach Arnold Productions, brought to you by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
Las albercas en Texas necesitan servicios durante todo el año. Romy Pools brinda servicios de calidad, incluyendo limpieza, mantenimiento y reparaciones. Llama al número 469-951-0107 para una consulta gratuita y pregunta por Roberto. Romy Pools, haremos que te enamores de tu alberca de nuevo.
Hey, this is John Wade Jr., Colt Football 97, class of 98. And the next time you have a roofing issue, be sure and call Arlington's favorite roofer, John Wade Roofing. Look us up on the internet at johnwaderoofing.com.
Welcome back to Sam Houston Texan Ball Field on the campus of Arlington Sam Houston High School in East Arlington. We've got a good one here. Tied up at 3, headed to the bottom of the 7th inning. Bowie was able to get a walk-off win Tuesday night. Will Sam Houston get their chance at a walk-off win here tonight on their home field? We shall see. The Texans will be sending up their 6, 7, 8 batters to the plate. Angel Quintero, the left fielder, leading off. Matthew Umansor, the right fielder, on deck. Tristan Chavez, the designated hitter, will start off in the hole this half inning. John, it's been an interesting back and forth affair, and the pitchers seem to be controlling most of the action tonight.
Now batting number 13, Brandon Jimenez.
Pops, I think we're at the 9-1-2. I think we're going back to the top. With all the changes, I'm throwing off too. But if that's Jimenez up the bat.
It sure is. Jimenez leading off. 9-1-2 batters. Jimenez, De La Rosa, and Lopez. And I actually had the markings right on my score sheet. I was looking at the last 3 batters of the last inning. Couch's first pitch to Brandon Jimenez, who has a base hit to his credit tonight. Made it as far as second and was stranded there back in the 2nd inning. Jimenez, the second baseman, leading off. That ball's popped in the infield. Second baseman Zatarain is camping under it, and he makes the catch. So the pop to second is the first out of the inning.
Yeah, it's been an interesting game so far, and this is a game that if you're, for both teams, you want to win. If you're Sam, you want to get your first district win here before you go out next week to play Arlington, who is currently trailing to South Grand Prairie, but they will be 3-1, looking like it going into that series next week. If you're Bowie, you go play Martin next week, and that's a series that will determine probably the 4th spot in district play the way things are going now.
First pitch to Sebastian De La Rosa, the top of the order, is swung on and missed for strike 1.
The final season of District 8-6A before we welcome Aledo next season, and that's going to be some interesting off-season ball for us.
Bringing in Aledo and Weatherford and Granbury into the district. We've seen Weatherford ball this year. Arlington High has played them, and we're able to defeat them in a 1-run game out in Weatherford. 1-1 pitch inside for ball 2. Aledo, the defending state champions from 5A.
Kind of gifted a district spot here.
2-1 pitch, swung on and hit towards the shortstop and bounces right over Vega's glove into center field for a base hit for De La Rosa. Nice diving attempt there by Vega, but the ball just out of his reach.
Yeah, that was a good attempt right there by Vega. It looked like he had a chance to get that out. Just wasn't able to look in all the way in. It got past him there, and now you have the runner on first. The winning run is on first. And De La Rosa has a lot of speed there, too.
So with De La Rosa at first and 1 out in the inning, that brings up Marcos Lopez, the third baseman for the Texans. Micah Couch takes a look over at first. Throws over there, the courtesy tag applied by Sturgill. But De La Rosa able to get back quite easily. Sturgill holding him close. Couch comes set. Runner goes. The hit and run is right to Sturgill. He's going to make the catch in the air and easily trot back to first for the double play. The hit and run backfired on Coach Perez that time as the ball is popped up into the infield.
Now, it looks like they got just a sure out at first. I don't think there was a double play. I think that ball might have bounced somewhere along the way. I think Sturgill, because the runner's still at second now.
I did not see it bounce, but I'll take it as De La Rosa makes it down to second on the fielder's choice. So we're going to give it a 3-3 on the out, and there's 2 outs in the inning now, and that'll bring up Mark Ramos, the current pitcher, with a runner at second now in De La Rosa.
This will be a good way for Ramos to send this team home to get a walk-off there. He'll get the win if they are able to score, and that will give Sam Houston their first win of the season if they're able to get De La Rosa in. If you're Bowie, you want to shut this inning down and get a chance to bat in the top of the 8th.
First pitch from Couch is swung on and hit down the third base line. Here it is. The run coming around third. Sebastian De La Rosa rounds third. He plates the run, and Sam Houston gets the walk-off win against crosstown rival Bowie Volunteers. Your final score here is going to be 4 for Sam, 3 for Bowie. The pitcher, Mark Ramos, does himself a favor with the base hit. A hot shot down the third base line just past Christian Uribe into left field. And Sam Houston gets their first district win here tonight on their home ball field, repaying the heartbreak that was dealt them on Tuesday night by the walk-off win from Bowie. And Sam gets the walk-off win in tonight's ball game. We're going to step aside and take just a short break, and then we'll be back for the post-game show here presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back right after this.
Local Legends Figures immortalizes your athlete's achievements for a lifetime. Featuring 6-inch figures with poses in football, baseball, band, hockey, even lacrosse. Local Legends makes every effort to show their likeness down to every possible uniform detail. To order your custom figure, call 817-681-0319 or email orders at locallegendsfigures.com.
Welcome back to the home field of the Sam Houston Texans, who have just walked one off here in District 8-6A action. Bowie was able to walk it off in a dramatic fashion, ending game hit by Christian Uribe on Tuesday, and Sam Houston turns the tables on them tonight as we went into the bottom of the 7th inning, tied 3-3. The Texans were able to get Sebastian De La Rosa out to second base, again in the situation with 2 outs in the inning. And up to bat comes the pitcher, Mark Ramos. Ramos gets a hot shot down the third base line, just out of reach of the diving Christian Uribe, into left field. De La Rosa comes around to score, and Sam Houston walks it off for their first district win of the season. What's your impression tonight here, John, on this exciting ball game?
You know, coming into the day, we had been saying that Ramos is kind of the – we used to use the expression for Vernon Wells when he played for the Angels and the Blue Jays that he was a Ranger killer. You know, not the literal term, but he was a Ranger killer. He'd beat the Rangers every chance he could because you'd come home and beat the hometown team.
Right.
Ramos is kind of like the kryptonite for the Volunteers they'd never been able to master. The last 2 seasons he's had shutouts against them. In this case here, he wasn't the starting pitcher in either game this series against the Volunteers. but he gets a win. He gets a win from coming out of the bullpen, even though he was starting as the shortstop, and then he gets the win there with his bat to give his Texans the first win they need of district play. So good for him. And then for Bowie, the bats just fell asleep.
You know, there's a little more irony, too, also in that Ramos was the pitcher who came on in relief and gave up the walk-off hit to Uribe on Tuesday night. And tonight, Ramos redeems himself. He gets the walk-off hit to win the game for Sam Houston tonight. So it was a tight ball game all the way through. As I said at one point, the pitchers were really controlling this game for the most part throughout the evening. I think if we're going to have to crown a player of the game, I do want to give it to Ramos for the big hit and the clutch setting, you know, and giving Sam the win on that one tonight. So it was just a fun ball game, a tightly contested game. It was very tightly contested on Tuesday. I think these teams are very evenly matched.
Yeah, they're evenly matched. And for Ramos, too, he came in in a situation where his team's trailing 3-2. Cortez had a good game early. Yes, he gave up 3 runs, but he had 5 strikeouts. He had given up 5 hits. So he had a solid game, but it's not like Bowie had anything to take advantage of it. Ramos came in. He gave him no hits. He had 1 walk, which was a hit by pitch. He got 3 strikeouts, and that's all you needed there. The Volunteers got no hits off of Ramos, and Ramos got the hit that was most important there at the end of the game. He got 2 hits with his bat. He got a single to start off the game, and then he got 3 hits. He got a single to start off the game, a single in the 5th, and they ended up scoring the run there, which is when we had all the confusion with the runner on base and the ball going out of bounds, and then he gets the hit there in the 7th. So 3 for 3 night for Ramos, and he had a walk back in the 3rd, which he ended up scoring a run. So he was doing it all for the Texans. For the Volunteers, you're looking at it like, okay, we're 2-2 in district now. We split 1 with Grand Prairie, and we split 1 with Sam Houston. You can't continue that trend the rest of the way. You still have to play South Grand Prairie. You got to play Martin next week, which is going to be an even battle for you. You still have Lamar and Arlington too.
I think that matchup against Martin is a little more even than we've seen it in years past. Martin not coming out of the gate as strong as they have in years past, struggling just a bit. They dropped 2 to Lamar in the first week of district action, and so they're kind of playing from behind the 8 ball right now themselves. As you mentioned, Sam Houston going up against South next week, and that's going to be a tough road to hoe as they are as South is leading Arlington in the bottom of the 5th, 11-2. So Arlington and South are going to split that series, most likely. I mean, Arlington's going to have to really make some serious comeback here as they just got out in the bottom of the 5th. They're going to the top of the 6th now over there. But it's going to be an interesting district battle as Sam is coming up in their level of play. Bowie's inconsistent. How's that?
Inconsistent with a lot of seniors from last season too.
Yeah.
Which makes it even harder because you relied on seniors last season with Isaiah Henderson. You relied on seniors like Roberto De Leon behind the plate. And you had juniors and sophomores mixed in like Andrew Vega and Jackson Turner.
Yeah.
But now 2 and 3 of your better players are gone. Brody Ferguson, he's on the list. We just don't know if he's not available to play. So that's a player we can't currently count on at the moment. And you have guys, you have Uribe, you have Turner, you have Vega, who's back out in the lineup. You have Ortega. Ortega did what he could on the mound. He got a hit to help himself out earlier. But somewhere along the way, your 5, 6, 7, 8 guys in the lineup have to get hits. I know some of the guys like Piper and Sturchill are young. And then Brown's young out there playing left field, and Couch is new to the team. But at the end of the day, it's just the same thing we've said last season, too, for the Volunteers. To win district, you have to get 5 through 9, 6 through 9 to get hits. It's the same situation here. 1 through 4 you can count on to get hits. 5 and 6 are there when you need them to get on base. Vega's got a good eye, and you have guys like Piper when he's in there at 5 to have a good eye, and Fiorentino's got a good eye to get on base. But just too much inconsistency. You have really good fielders. They can play and can save you all day long in the outfield.
Yeah.
But they can't do anything with the bat. And that's what they need to work on going into Martin. Because if you don't work that out going into Martin, you will be in a tough road to hoe the rest of the way with the harder games left. No offense to the 2 teams that they've played already.
Right.
But they're not the teams that nobody expected to win district.
Exactly. Yeah. You kind of expect to sweep Grand Prairie. You kind of expect to sweep Sam. But that trend for Sam is changing as they're rising in level of their ability and their talent and their scrappiness. I mean, they stayed in both games right up till the very end, literally. And so Sam's playing some better ball, and they get a payoff tonight with a win in district. Coach Alex Johnson may be saying the very same things we're talking about down there at third base, as they're still in a somber team meeting at third base. And that's going to pretty much do it for us here tonight for Zach Arnold Productions. As Jot mentioned, on Zach Arnold Productions for next week, we'll see Bowie taking on Martin, and we will see the Sam Houston Texans taking on South Grand Prairie. And this is the post-game show. We're going to wrap this up, the John Wade Roofing post-game show. John Sr. played for Arlington High and was team MVP in 1976. He also played for TCU and UTA football, earning all-conference and conference champion honors. After a stint with the Houston Oilers, he started roofing in 1982 and never looked back. His legacy on the gridiron is now matched by the legacy the company has built in the community for over 40 years. The next time you have roofing needs or gutters, painting, solar, or more, call the family that does more at 817-265-5520. The John Wade Roofing postgame show. On Zach Arnold Productions next week, Bowie versus Bowie versus Martin,
and Arlington
Sam versus Sam Houston will be the games up next week, being brought to you. So tune in then. Until then, have a great weekend. My thanks to Jot Holly as the sidekick here tonight. And we will wish you a good weekend and a safe good night, and we will see you next Tuesday night on Zach Arnold Productions. Good night, everybody.